Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is the Nation Network. I'm your host, Vince McSham, and we're here to do the weekend wrestling wrap-up because there was a lot of stuff going down this weekend. We already touched on Clash at the Castle, so we'll zip through that part pretty quickly, I think. But after that, we've got some NXT to talk about that took place on Sunday, and I think there was another program, AEW or something like that. So much to talk about this weekend. You guys in the comments, by all means, jump in, put in your 2 cents worth. We'll get you involved in this. And got some guys in the wings here going to jump in and help me out as well because I didn't see it all, but I saw most. We got D-Train and Jay joining us here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let me.
How's everybody doing?
Doing good over here. Hopefully, everybody else is too. So, like I said, we've already kind of touched on the Clash at the Castle already, but just to go down that lineup one last time, and you got Bayley, Io, Sky, and Dakota Kai over Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka. I thought it was a pretty good match. You guys?
I agree.
Yeah, I think it set things up pretty good having Bayley take the pinfall over Bianca. Now they can go ahead and set that one-on-one title match up between the two of them.
And then they can give the belt to Bayley, and let's get back to business.
I am hoping for Asuka, Io Shirai. Well, I still call Io Shirai. I don't care. I'm hoping for a one-on-one match between them two and actually give them some time. I think they could have a great match.
Yeah, that would definitely be something different for the fans.
No doubt about it. Actually touched one-on-one before.
I don't know. You would think
not here. No.
So.
Andrew Roberts, what's up with you, buddy? Welcome aboard. And Infrared joining us as well. Welcome aboard.
I think it set up things pretty nicely when they commented how Io Shirai, Asuka, and Io's sister all was in a team at Stardom together.
Okay. Well, like I said, we've got some stuff to look forward to for sure.
Yes.
We had Gunther up against Sheamus in what was by far one of the most physical matches I've seen in a very long time.
I'd say so.
I think Sheamus is able to take deep breaths now.
Well, I've seen on Twitter where he's been drinking the last 2 days, so he's doing pretty well, I think. So
he's trying to kill the pain.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Oh, let's see. We got Liv Morgan defeating Shayna Basler. By the way, I just saw some stupid idiot on YouTube posted a video that included a relationship that exists between Liv Morgan and Lana, and that Miro's okay with it, that he's sharing her. And I'm thinking to myself, A, it's bullshit, and B, if it wasn't bullshit, of course he'd be okay with it.
I was disappointed with that match.
The Liv Morgan match? Yeah. I heard Shayna got injured for real, though, and that kind of screwed the ending up. They went home a little sooner and different than they planned to.
Honestly, I don't know if I'm disappointed. I wasn't expecting much.
Well, I mean,
it just wasn't. For that match, I just wasn't compared to others. That was.
But why is that?
I don't see where. Yeah, I just don't see where in any kind of reality Liv Morgan can beat Shayna Baszler clean.
Exactly.
Anyways.
Well, and I think it's the old, as we talked about before. Shayna's kind of been, I'm not going to say buried, but since she's been called up.
Yeah, she has. You can say it.
I mean, she really hasn't been. So it's kind of make her a credible contender. I mean, they did it by beating her up in the arm, all that to try to build up for it. But I mean, yeah, no expectations. I did not expect Shayna. Didn't even expect it. It wasn't in the cards.
Well, I actually was kind of on the other side there. I thought we were finally going to let her do something, and didn't happen there. So they're trying to set up something with her and Ronda, and losing to Liv is going to be a little tough. I mean, it gives Ronda fuel to say you lost to her, so you have that. But I think I expect more out of Triple H with her. because he always was a fan of hers. Vince, not so much.
Right.
So hopefully, moving forward, they can let her be the badass that she really is, and let her get some big wins. And
well, I think at the same time they're trying to keep Liv on that high a little bit because she has improved, but
look, you can keep her on the high, but then don't book her against Shayna Basler.
true.
Because,
Right.
to your point, nobody with half a brain is going to believe that Liv Morgan beats Shayna Basler. But anyway.
Well, at the same time, they also don't have really anyone else on SmackDown built up to be a challenger right now.
Which is perfect for Liv because she's really not qualified to beat a challenger. So feed her some of the undercard people, whatever you got to do. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wasn't happy with the whole way it was handled. But then we move on to Edge and Rey Mysterio going up against the Judgment Day. That was handled a whole lot better. So I already went over my personal changes I would have made to that.
I love the match. I think it played out very well. The ending, I honestly didn't see it coming. I mean, I could see him doing what he did to Edge, dominate, but not to his own father. Now, whether he joins up with Judgment Day, I'm not so sure he needs to, but at least they gave him an option.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it coming, not during the match. I mean, for a while there, especially when Rhea came around the corner and Cole clocked him upside the head. I was like, all right, well, they're definitely not giving him any room to be upset about something in the match to do something about it. I thought maybe Edge would accidentally hit his dad or something and piss him off or whatever. And that never happened.
Right.
And then the match is over, and then they're all in the ring, and Dom just stared Edge down. And it's like, oh, here it comes. But why telegraph that? That's the only problem I had with it. You telegraphed it. It should have been him holding both arms up of his dad and Edge, and then turn around, kick him in the dick, and without hesitation, turn around and clothesline your father. That should have been a 1-2 punch, and that's how they should have done it. It would have been perfect that way. It was still really good, but I saw it coming a mile away once the match was over, and you shouldn't have let it be seen.
Exactly. I thought it was funny, like when he kicked Edge. I like how Edge just gave that stare. I mean, he sold it. Like,
oh yeah, you should like you.
Oh my God, he stared the whole time as he fell down. But I think maybe what they're gonna do is maybe he's just confused because with the whole Riddle thing, I don't think he's gonna join the Judgment Day. I hope not, but
no, I think he has to actually. Monstar in the house, welcome aboard, buddy.
Maybe they're just using him.
Yeah,
because he's weak.
He's too green to be on his own. He has to be.
Right.
I mean, it's like when Luger was in with the Horsemen, and he was a lot more accomplished than Ray Jr. And I said it the other day. I'll say it again. Boy needs to get inside a gym and actually do something. Don't just look at the weights. Lift a few.
Yeah, he does.
Well, he should have went down to NXT before he was put in such a big role.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Well, yeah, that's right.
I agree with that.
Hey, don't worry, Matt. There's still time.
Well, yeah. I mean, hey,
he won't be the first guy that digressed.
So, yeah.
It's not really a digression. I mean, look, NXT is what it is. It's there to train you to be ready for the main roster. So if they had to rush you in and then realize, okay, that was probably not the smartest move, Nia Jax, we're going to send you back. So Seth Rollins went on, defeated Matt Riddle. Yeah, Apollo, but Apollo was a lot more ready. Seth Rollins defeats Matt Riddle. Couldn't be happier, and I'm not even a Seth Rollins fan. I just think that was kind of destined to happen because Matt's getting a lot of bad press right now from his ex-wife. And there's some questionability things going on, and WWE's got to distance themselves from anything like that at this point in time. So,
and they're also making.
I wish them well in future endeavors for certain.
I don't know.
I think future endeavors come not too far down the road, maybe 6 months. Might be there for Mania.
We'll see. I think it was just all the build up since it's now a hot feud for the Extreme Rules pay-per-view next month.
With what, him and Rollins?
Oh, yeah, they're not done.
Oh, I hope they are. Jeez Louise, I hope they are. I don't care about either one of them. I guess that's my problem with the match. Anyway, the main event was Roman Reigns against Drew McIntyre. Yeah, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because I did cover it already. But Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, slow start, real slow burn. But again, when they went on, it was 10-4 in the afternoon. I thought it was like a 10-minute time limit. It was going to be a squash match. And I'm like, how are they dragging this out so slow? No time. But I didn't realize they were going to go to 4:30. So that gave him another 20 minutes. And then that last 15 minutes, pretty much every damn thing in the world that you could ever want to see happen in that match happened, and then some.
Right. Do I like the belt still being on Roman? No. But I do understand why they did what they did. And I'm okay with it. It played out fine. It looked good. So I can't complain about the main event.
Yeah, I am glad their belts are still on them. I would have liked Drew to win it. I think it's necessary, though, to make sure that you have major events where the outcome is so obvious and then doesn't happen. Otherwise, what's the point? In other words, it's so predictable most of the times that you know who's going to win. The Undertaker's going to win WrestleMania until the day he didn't. And you look at the look in the face of all those people, the eyes popping out and all this stuff, because, wait a minute, that's not supposed to be the ending. Predictability is not good in wrestling. So the fact that you keep the belts on Roman, probably good just for the overall aura of the business.
I will say, for me, at first, before the match started, when they showed Karrion Kross, they showed Tyson Fury, it's like, oh no, here we go. But I'm glad, they did play into the result, but they didn't play into the final result. So they kind of teased, maybe something big was going to happen, and then that really didn't happen. And it ended up being, of course, the call-up of, was he related to the Usos, right? Obviously, cousin or brother?
He's their younger brother.
So that makes sense. Get him established in a big angle right away.
Well, they did that. All right, let's move on to Sunday. NXT Worlds Collide.
I did watch that.
Match. The opening match. Holy shit. I mean, you have to play it at 50% speed just to see it. Yeah. And there's something to be said for that. What was that promotion that used to be around? It's not there anymore, I don't think. I think it was Japan. I can't speak Japanese. Where they had a super fast speed all the time. Every match was like lightning fast.
I know in Fire Pro you could adjust it so matches would go faster, but I don't think that was it.
No, there was an actual promotion years ago where the style was up-tempo. It was a Japanese organization. I figured for sure one of you guys would know that immediately. No? Okay.
Oh, I can't think of one. I can't think of it right offhand right now.
No, I'm definitely drawing a blank on it, but I'm sure somebody in the chat will come up with it.
I'm sure.
All right. As we take a look at NXT Worlds Collide, that opening matchup, as I'm trying to find my cheat sheet notes here.
Obviously, you're talking the Ricochet Carmelo Hayes match.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's what I expected. They were going to go all out like that.
Now, because I haven't watched NXT hardly at all, this is the most NXT I've watched in probably the last 7 months in one
me
day.
Too.
I am not at all familiar with Carmelo. He's not in the video game either, so I don't have any knowledge of him until this match. I know he's a longtime champion. I see a lot of jerseys that he claims to have retired in there. So many hot spots in that match, but man, when the two of them came off the ropes and hit with the dual cutters, oh my god. It's like, would you guys please just put a real arena together instead of that Saturday morning crap so I can take it seriously and watch it again? Because that was friggin', I mean, to time it the way they had to time it, and to be where they had to be, and to connect the way they had to connect, and then make it perfect on live TV. And they did all that shit. Just that one move alone tells you what kind of talent these guys have.
Oh, Carmelo is very talented. He could, I see him up and being called up within the next, I say by the beginning of the year. But I think they're just trying to hold off just a little bit longer on him. I'm glad he won clean for the most part. Yeah, Trick tried to interfere a couple times, but it didn't pay off like it normally does in the rest of Carmelo's matches. So I'm glad they basically gave him a clean win against Ricochet. So
I agree. I think Carmelo Hayes maybe after, like you said, probably an after WrestleMania kind of call up, like they like to do. I could see that. Yeah, very good match. Ricochet's good for those matches. I still remember that match with him and what was it? A couple of years before he signed with NXT, was that him and Will Ospreay that they had that match?
Yes.
That was like 25 minutes.
Yes.
Just the most insane stuff you ever seen. Like it was just, what the hell am I watching? But it was great. So. Yeah, Carmelo
he is a top-notch athlete just in general. I mean, I can only imagine he must have played other sports growing up, whether it be football. I could see him as a receiver, basketball. I could see him doing pretty much almost anything he wants to do, and he can shoot. He's legit as a athlete across the board. This guy's legit.
I agree.
All right, after that match, we actually had a commercial for the A&E biography of WrestleMania 1. I don't know if you guys saw it yet. I just watched it this morning.
Yes. I haven't watched that. I've seen the commercial, though.
Okay, well, I just got done with it. Great 2-hour job, and I look at March 31st, 1985 as my birthday, practically. That date I will always have. It was such a big part. I was only about 17, I guess, give or take, 16 or 17 when that happened. And it was, to live in New York at that time, especially, I mean, it went around the country, obviously, around the world, but in New York, it was a little bit different, man. It was there. And even Long Island was caught up in and when they talk about the electricity, it was real. You felt a buzz. It was an amazing time to be around.
This is 1985. No social media, no nothing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And it just,
wow.
So they do a great job of recapping a lot of the stuff that goes behind, the relationship with MTV and how that really happened. It wasn't, the way I thought it went down. So I learned a bit watching this thing. Might do a separate one of these things on just the A&E series because a lot of it's been really good.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch that. Like I said, I was watching what we'll talk about later, late last night.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance. I'm kind of catching up a little bit. I watched more wrestling than I thought I was going to. But when I saw NXT, I was like, yeah, let me give it a try, see what they're going to do. And now we're talking about it.
And that's why I watched it. I was curious to see who they actually let combine their belts. So.
And then, I'm sure we'll get to that.
And that's what I wanted to see. Yeah, we're kind of getting there right now, as a matter of fact. So the Fatal 4-Way elimination for the NXT Tag Team Championship unification match. That's a mouthful right there. We had the Creed brothers. Again, most of these people, I don't even know who they are. We have Julius and Brutus Creed with Damon Kemp up against Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen with Fallon Henley against Pretty Deadly, which as soon as I saw these two guys, I was like, oh, God, it's time to go to AEW. With Lash Legend and Gallus, which is Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang with Joe Coffey. I don't know any of those names I just mentioned. Haven't seen one of these guys in ring. But I will say my first impression of Pretty Deadly was, oh, God, all they need to do to make a trio is add Riddle. With his little painted nails.
I didn't think Riddle, but I was at WTF. I was like, oh, my God. But...
Sonny Kiss, you can add a lot of other people, but it just, I don't know, man. At least back when Billy and
Chuck
Chuck were a thing, it was comedic, it was fun. I just didn't get that vibe from this.
Yeah, and then of course they're the team that won, which was kind of God.
So Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen get eliminated.
And I think the reason.
Hold on one second. Gallus is eliminated.
I think the reason they had Pretty.
We got a time delay, I think. Winners by pinfall and your new NXT Tag Team Champions are Pretty Deadly, Kit Wilson and Elton Prince. This got a 3 1/4 star rating.
It was. I mean, for what it was a decent match. I think the reason they gave it to Pretty Deadly is, like they mentioned, they were the only team in there to hold both sets of belts at one time or another. So,
and yet
I don't think anybody was expecting them to pull it out.
Yeah, pretty something. I don't know what to call it, but I don't know. It was an okay match. They weren't the team I was expecting to win. I don't know who I was expecting, but they were the least ones I was expecting. So,
well, that moves us to the NXT Women's Championship, going up against the NXT UK Women's Championship. Somebody explained to me how we have 2 championships but 3 contenders. Mandy is the NXT. Miko Satomura was the UK, or was it Blair Davenport that was the UK?
No, Miko was.
Okay, so then how did Blair get in the match?
Right.
Did she bring a belt to the party?
Because she had already won a tournament to become the #1 contender.
Yeah.
Okay. I figured it had to be something.
So it wasn't fair to her not to be in the match. Yeah.
Welcome to the #1 contender party where you came in third.
The only thing I can say about this match is there is 1 or 2 ladies in the crowd that were doing that high-pitched screaming for Mandy Rose the entire freaking match. That's usually like when there's a good-looking guy comes to the ring.
Yes.
It just, I had to turn the volume off. It's like, shut her up. I'm glad she's fan, but like, it's Mandy Rose. Come on now. I mean, she's attractive, but
the truth of the matter is it was me.
That was you in that outfit. All right. Well, all right then. It was a McSham.
I have to remind myself that Mandy and I have so much in common that we both like women.
Well, okay.
It's unfortunate. Because I'm sure I was right on deck, if not.
I thought she was with Tino Sabatelli.
I
thought I saw pictures of them recently.
Well, maybe she just depends on the day of the week or something. I don't know.
Fair enough.
She definitely likes girls too, is all I know from history.
Fair enough.
So that also received 3 1/4 stars. I thought it was an okay match as far as triple threats go, and I kind of like Mandy getting the win. I think she has done a really good job. I mean, you look at her coming out to that match in the attire, with the hair, with the makeup, and then look at her 5 years ago in WWE. That's not the same person.
No,
she's definitely a little bit of a transformation, but it's...
Yeah, I mean, she looks great. Don't get me wrong. It's just, if you put, if you were going into witness protection, I would say you have a really good costume going on there, because with the hair change and the makeup even, it just looks like a different face almost.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't think she's ever going to be the greatest worker, so they say. But, it doesn't always, like they always say, the greatest worker doesn't always make the most money. But she's attractive. Guys like to see her. And she's not bad in the ring. She's serviceable.
Yeah, I agree. The NXT UK Women's Tag Team Championships. I did not realize that Casey Catanzaro had her name changed.
Oh, yeah.
Last I heard, she had been injured and was probably leaving.
Yes.
And that was how long ago? About almost a year ago, maybe a little less.
Yeah, and then they went to all those name changes.
So then I see, which one is she? Is she Caden or is she Katana? She's
Katana.
Okay.
Chance, I think
she's
it is.
Katana Chance.
Yeah.
So I see, Katana Chance coming out. I was like, damn, she looks just like Casey Catanzaro. And then I'm looking a little closer, and then I'm going to YouTube because I don't necessarily trust my eyes anymore. And I go to Google, rather. And sure as hell, that's her. I was like, oh, damn, why are you changing her name for the love of God? Katana Chance.
Yeah, I had to do the same thing when I first saw her again. They said Katana Chance, and I'm like, you sure that's not Casey? And sure enough, they just gave her a name change. And
this match only got 2 3/4 stars. I think that might be a little low personally. I don't think it was like a 4-star match, but I think it was better than that. I'm real happy that Caden and Katana got the win.
I guess that's maybe to put them over.
Yeah, but that's only because they want to set up to Yeah, they want to set up to have a rematch with Toxic Attraction there. That's why they came out. So.
Yeah,
Train, what were you saying?
I got nothing. I
You got
think the
nothing for
rating the rating is what it was. I think I agree with it. It was what it was.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great match. Certainly didn't steal the night.
To see Nikki Ash still doing that character, just no.
Yeah.
No.
Has that not gone its length by now?
I thought so. And maybe they thought maybe they were going to change her name, but back to Nikki Cross, but nope.
All right, this one I'm going to be curious to see what you guys say about NXT versus the NXT UK Championship unification match between Bron Breakker and Tyler Bate. I thought this was a kick-ass match.
I agree.
Oh, I agree.
Received 3 3/4
It
stars.
was definitely a it was definitely a difference of styles, but I think they melded them together great in the match. And I mean, there was a couple times they got me because I thought Tyler Bate had him a couple times, and just the reversals that they would pull out was I'd probably gave it a 4-star, honestly, just because the work that they put into this match, honestly. So
yeah, I'd say 4 stars for sure.
That might have been Bron Breakker's longest match.
Another good point.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of his matches go.
Yeah, that's what makes this match stand out so much is finally somebody gave him a challenge more so than he's used to having.
Right.
I agree. And, if he had lost, I would have figured maybe he would have been a surprise call-up kind of thing. But I think he still needs just a little bit more time. Just a little bit more. Maybe a Royal Rumble surprise or something.
Yeah, let him keep dominating where he's at right now. There's nothing wrong with that. He's earning a paycheck. He's getting all the tutelage in the world. You got Shawn Michaels there. Not a bad tree to be learning under.
No, I agree. But he's definitely somebody to keep an eye on for sure, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he is the future. And ends up getting the win, unifying the 2 titles. And to the point that, we had made not too long ago on one of these streams. It was actually on one of it might have been with Macho Man the other day, but all I know is you have 2 baby faces. You don't have to have a baby face and a heel.
Exactly.
And that match stole the show. As it should. It's the main event.
The only thing that surprised me is all the regular NXT guys kept the titles. The UK did not win one match.
Well, it didn't surprise me because it's going to be based here in America, and that would mean one of them, if they won, would have to be relocating, and they might not want to do that, and they know that Europe is coming up, so they'll just kind of be there for that.
Right.
I'm just saying, for me, it was like, man, all these championships, like, well, Braun maybe isn't going to lose that because everyone else, so it's kind of. But what you're saying is right.
See, I thought Braun might lose only because I thought they were going to pull him up to the main roster. But then I'm thinking, well, you just brought Solo up.
Right.
I mean, before, when they brought Bailey up, they brought Bailey. They brought Prince Pretty. They brought, about 4 people in one shot.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But that was a good match. It wasn't a terrible show. It wasn't terrible, but
I thought it was good.
It was, it was definitely decent enough to watch.
With the exception of that tag team mess, with the 4 teams at once, and that I didn't care about. But other than that, I thought the rest of it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I wasn't disappointed by tuning in. I was worried.
That's going to be the caption that headlines, if you haven't seen it before, this is what the critics are saying. I didn't mind tuning in. That's the glowing endorsement I was looking for.
Well, I guess I figured too. Well, if Trips is, doing a thing, it couldn't have been too terrible. He had to put his hands in there somewhat, you'd think. A little so.
I mean, I was hesitant about watching it. That's why I just watched it this morning on replay, because I was like, I don't know. So I just pulled the trigger on it, watched it this morning, and I was okay with it. It was better than what it's been the past however, whatever it's been. So,
Agree.
I would agree with that as well. For those of you watching us over on the Twitch, welcome aboard and good to be back. I know it's been a very long time since we've been on. Anything that we do with StreamYard, I will now be adding to the Twitch stream as well. But if you want to check out the old 2K content, then that is going to be exclusive to YouTube. So enjoy what you can and let us know that you're here. And look forward to hearing from you as well. War Hero says Pretty Deadly is UK people. And
Okay.
I'm good with that. That means I won't have to see them again.
Okay, well, there you go then. I didn't follow enough to know that was even the case. I was just like, they look like two jabronis, but...
And that's the thing. We haven't seen the product enough to even know who's on the roster anymore, so...
So thank you to whoever that was. Thank you.
Yeah, Diamond Mine was the only... Yeah. Diamond Mine was the only NXT group. The other three teams were from UK.
Okay. Yeah. I knew that Gallus was, but I didn't know about the others. So.
All right. Well, all roads then lead to AEW's All Out. So I'll get the ball rolling. I'll rely more on you guys who actually watched it. I saw a lot of highlight reel stuff. And then we're going to talk about this post-media scrum.
Well, that
was a better show, and it wasn't really aired properly. But we're going to get to all that.
Yeah.
And we want to hear from you guys in the comments as well, because I know everybody got an opinion on this stuff, and you're going to hear about all of that, and that's going to dominate the majority of this stream now. So looking at the lineup, I'll kind of go over the matches, and you guys can let me know what you thought. I saw highlights, so I'm not going to really give ratings or anything like that on it based on highlights. But Eddie Kingston against Tomohiro Ishii. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, I'm a fan of Ishii, so I was happy to see him. He's always one of those hard-hitting, strong-style kind of guys, and Kingston's kind of that way too. So I was fine with it.
Another glowing review.
Well,
I didn't mind watching it.
I don't know. Honestly, I was kind of in.
I mean, it was on the pre-show, right?
So.
Oh, was that on the free show?
Yeah, that wasn't even on the main show.
Oh, mercy sakes alive, Eddie! How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, they had 4 matches on the pre-show, wasn't it? And then they got into the main show.
Yeah, the main 11 after that,
or whatever. So yeah,
insane.
Right.
All right, well, if it's pre-show, let's skip ahead a little bit. So we got Hook against Angelo Parker for the FTW Championship. Why it exists, I don't know.
Didn't watch it. Not a Hook fan.
Thank you.
I'm sure he won.
And I had read a review saying of Hook that this kid is destined to be a star. And I'm like, why? Somebody educate me. I just don't get it. Look, I love Taz in the day. Okay, but then he gets to the main roster, and he's not really Taz anymore because he is so small.
No.
What?
No, I agree. He got to the main roster, and they didn't let him be Taz.
Well, how believable would it have been that 5'9" Taz at maybe 207 to 215 pounds legit weight beats Triple H, who's 6'2", 250 at that time, give or take, of just muscle upon muscle. It's just, and it's the same thing I see. I mean, and Hook is a shadow of what his father was physically. He's a small kid.
Yeah.
With no mic skills at all. Now, you might learn that, but when Rocky Maivia came in, he could talk on a mic. It's just nobody cared about him and the gimmick. But once they got him in the gimmick and let him just run with the mic, he could turn it on and turn it around. You think this kid has that in him?
Who knows? Time will tell, too. I mean, it's like he's highlighted, but he's not highlighted because they know he's still limited to a point.
No, yeah, I would say
But-
so.
But yeah, I'm not a hooker. I think that's what they call his fans, hookers, or some people have called it. I'm not a hooker. I'm not. I just no. I mean, maybe with time, maybe he'll become something. But right now, no. I didn't even watch it. I think I took the dog for a walk or something. So that's my review. That's my thought of that match.
Yeah, Infrared says that once Taz did that title match with Triple H, he wasn't the same visually, and that's the
Yep.
truth. Man, he got squashed. Well, he didn't get squashed, but he got beat soundly. So
Exactly. Yeah.
well, with that in mind, good luck to Hook. I mean, the day his AEW contract isn't renewed, I think that ends his run as a person on television. Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello. Ty Mello.
That's Ty Conte. She changed her name because Conte was her ex-husband's last name.
Jeez Louise.
Right.
Then why did you use it to begin with? Because, my goodness, it's like a branding thing. You're not going to suddenly call McDonald's something else. Whatever. I'm sure I'll get used to it. I don't care anymore about him. Against Ortiz and Ruby Soho. And again, I saw highlights, and I'll tell you right now,
Yeah.
this is exactly why I stopped watching AEW. Sammy Guevara should not be in a wrestling ring ever again. He shouldn't be. He's going to kill somebody. What he did to Ruby is disgusting.
Yeah.
He
I thought she
recklessly
broke her
knocked
neck.
her on
I
her
mean-
head.
I guess she has a broken nose, though.
He does this
Yeah,
all
she
the
did
fucking
break her
time.
nose.
When is someone going to step up instead of just like saying it? You hear these comments like MJF said in the promo that got him, kicked out for all these months, and saying that, hey, I'm a professional. I don't drop people on their head. Who do you think he's talking about?
Right.
Yeah, he's got that Nia Jax effect. He's more talented than Nia Jax, but he injures the people, yes.
A
He's got that
lot.
yes, I agree.
And it's a woman this time. It's like she weighs nothing. You can't control that. And just so haphazardly, too. I mean, I'm just... Until AEW gets under control, I'm not really watching the product anymore. I've had enough of it. And I just... whatever. So, Sammy and Ty... Who got the win in that one? Was it them? Yeah, I think they went over.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
Although
the
I
same
did see on a backstage clip, I did see on a backstage clip that they were doing an interview with Ty and Sammy, and when they walked off, Ruby hit them both with a golf cart. So
Yeah, but that might have been a shoot.
I'm not saying it might not have been. I'm just saying she hit them both with a golf cart, and I don't know if they were fully expecting her to come at the speed she was coming at.
It's called a receipt.
Exactly. Two little things I think. One,
Absolutely.
when Ruby came in, she was like, everyone was so happy to see her. She was the next big thing. She lost to Brit right away and everything. Now she's relegated to a mixed tag team with no longer the old LAX, the new LAX, Santana Ortiz, who aren't even getting along. Since they left Impact, they weren't the same tag team. They were dominant in Impact. They were huge. I still think they did the right choice going there compared to WWE at the time. But now look at them. It's like, Ruby's, does she matter?
No, and the sad thing is, you can almost say that about Brit Baker, too. So you sacrifice Ruby for Brit, and now that Brit's not the champion anymore, she's an afterthought. Yeah, she still has these little matches and things like that going on, but they're not putting the belt back on her, which I think is a crime, because I still say she's one of the best all-around on the women's roster they have. I'm glad that, we'll get to who's got the title in a minute, but I just feel like Brit has been... You're going to have people not on TV simply because you got too many people to put on TV. She should not be one of those people.
Yeah.
She has too much upside to be not seen more than she's being seen, and then that's the way I feel about it.
I mean, okay, I know Ruby's not maybe the top star, and maybe she didn't need to win the title, but it seems like all the women they brought in, Athena, which I'm sure we're going to get to, and all that, like, they're just kind of quality wrestlers who are fillers. They're not really meant to be anything else, it seems like. Which is okay, too. Keep your fresh talent, your homegrown talent. I could see that, too, but I don't know. I didn't care about the match, but yeah, Sammy's a liability.
Yes, he is. All right, moving along. We've got the All-Atlantic Championship between Pac and Kip Sabian. I'm going to say Pac probably won.
Yes, he did.
Okay, so there you go. Pac gets the win. Anything about the match stand out that I didn't see in highlight reel?
Yeah, because during the pay-per-view, they set up something that happened from there into some match I think we're going to see on Wednesday, like a 6-man tag. Shocker. So.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We got a comment here from Yakuza saying CM Punk versus Kenny Omega first match. Well, we already know that's probably. Well, he might have a match with him. I don't think it'll be a title defense per se. But... although it's possible too, because Kenny never. No, he did lose the title.
Depend.
Yes.
Well, although yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
I think that'll depend on how much of this media scrum was a work.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was a work, dude. If that was a work, it was a brilliant work. I don't think so. Casino ladder match takes place.
I don't either.
We now know that some masked man won that thing after a lot of chicanery.
Well, I'm sure we'll cover it more towards later on with the main event.
Yes.
But it kind of was like, what, it was kind of like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I think everyone else, too, because it was just like, what? But
right. But it has its own payback later on, though.
I think we might debate that. Do we have a new faction on our hands?
Well, it's starting to look that way for sure.
So, but yeah.
Let's get through the list and we can discuss that. So, Bryan Danielson has the match with Chris Jericho. Jericho goes over.
The only thing about that match.
Jericho goes over.
I don't see a problem with it.
Really?
I know the finish was kind of.
Yeah, because it's.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because now you're setting up between Jericho and why can't I think of his name all of a sudden?
What, Daniel Garcia?
Yes, because I think we get a match between them at the next pay-per-view.
There's going to be another pay-per-view? Oh. I'll let somebody else deal with that.
Well, and we'll discuss that later, too, because I think something else is going to go down, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. What do you think, D-Train, of the outcome of the Jericho-Daniel Bryanson?
It was a decent match. I was not sure, honestly. I guess I probably thought Danielson was going to win. And the ending, to me, just seemed kind of like, what? But it wasn't a bad match. I know, it's probably not a real review, but it was good. It was good enough,
I can't give it a rating or anything because I haven't watched enough to know. I was just surprised at the outcome a little bit because I figured Jericho, we all know, has got to be winding it up at some point in time here.
Yeah, I think if this was Jericho 10 years ago, it would have been even a much better match. But it was good.
Well, I was thinking more from him past the torch moment. I felt like, and again, Bryan's not exactly a youngster either. They're both kind of getting, they've both seen their better days. They're on the downside of their careers. I just feel like there's probably, barring injury of any kind, a little bit more in the tank for Bryan than there is for Jericho. But
yeah, there is.
I suppose the more I think about it,
well,
I guess
maybe
it's 50-50.
Well, maybe you get to pass the torch between Jericho and Garcia. Garcia finally, goes against Jericho, beats Jericho, and then goes on to the Blackpool Combat Club, and we're off and running then.
Possibility. I don't know enough of Garcia's in-ring work as to have an opinion on him. So we'll see how that turns out and how he can do with a microphone in his hand.
Solid. He's a solid wrestler. Microphone, he's good in short bits, but when he has long talking,
yeah,
it's kind of so I think that's where he needs work. But I mean, I think he's a young guy too, so he's got room to grow yet. But yeah, mic work, not so much.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the problem with AEW is they have a lot of young guys with room to grow, and not a lot of guys who can. You got CM Punk with a mic. You got Moxley's pretty good with a mic, although his in-ring work, that can be debated. Who else? Eddie Kingston's solid on a mic. Jericho, but again, now it's a guy who's a kind of over the hill club. You don't have a lot of really good mic workers. You got about a handful, a little more, and then other guys that think they're good that are okay at best. Hangman Adam Page. So, all right, we have the House of Black going up against Darby Allen, Sting, and Miro. Who won that?
Was it me? Or did it look like Sting was legitimately hurt at the end of that match?
It did look that way, yeah.
I don't know what happened, because when he was getting all his kicks and stuff while he was holding a Scorpion Deathlock, like he was no-selling, like he was hit, and then all of a sudden, it's like he got up or something, and he did not look right. I don't know if he's either really selling or if he's really hurt at his age, but
so you think he looked like he might have got hurt?
It sure appeared that way.
You'd think that there was an injury sustained in the night that would have come out by now, and I haven't seen anything, but hopefully not. So Miro's team gets the win. Is that what I heard? Big surprise. Aleister Black wants out of the AEW desperately.
Well, and from what I heard, a story I saw was it was off camera, but after the match when they went to back or whatever, I guess he embraced with the House of Black, and then he went to the crowd, blew a kiss or bowed to him or something like that.
See you later, but not so soon.
Maybe he's taking. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I mean,
right? Yeah, I heard that too.
So
makes you think of a.
Yep. All right, moving on. FTR and Wardlow against Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns, because a match between FTR and the Motor City Machine Guns for the titles wouldn't have been any good.
That's my thoughts too.
It's like whatever.
Right.
I'm gonna have to presume that FTR and Wardlow get the win because Wardlow's never gonna lose a match.
You're correct.
There you go.
FTR though, the one guy, the bald-headed guy, that's Dax Hardwood, right? He seems to be very injured right now. Very injured. And it makes me wonder if they are going to lose those belts soon. Because maybe he has to take some time off. I didn't quite get the whole thing with his daughter coming to the ring afterwards. And they teamed up. Oh, Samoa Joe came out. So Samoa Joe's back.
Yeah.
John?
Yeah, he was filming some show, wasn't he? I can't remember the name of the show, but
he hadn't been on TV.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Joe's been gone for at least
that's right.
months.
Yeah.
Well, Samoa Joe is back. There you go.
Yeah, probably to continue the feud with Sanjay and Jay Lethal, because I don't think that's over with. But yeah.
Well, that and the fact that they don't have an ROH TV product yet.
Well, yeah, and he's their champion, TV champion.
TV champ, yep. All right, we got Ricky Starks against Powerhouse Hobbs. I know I'll like Hobbs when he goes to the WWE because he'll do something with him.
Well, he did something here.
What did he do? Because
he won.
He won. Yeah, okay, that's not doing much, though. I mean, his gimmick is not doing anything for me at all. And the name Powerhouse Hobbs doesn't do anything for me.
True.
I couldn't believe they had him beat Starks in 5 minutes. That was insane.
Very short, yes.
And meantime, Wardlow's going 20 minutes with mid-card guys on TV.
Exactly.
And Ricky Starks is one of the few bright spots that they have in their young talent where you can see there's a future in him. But I'll tell you right now, his best move is get the hell out of there as quick as possible, because some of these guys He's going to get into a match with a Sammy Guevara who's going to put him out and shorten his career.
Well, I mean, he's already had the broken neck once. So.
That's what I'm saying. And partly because he was with these people who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Ricky Starks, I wasn't sure of him at first, but he definitely, there's something there.
I liked him in NWA. I said this kid, and that again, if it weren't for COVID, he would have done more time in NWA, and we might have been able to see even more out of him there. And who knows if he would have gone to AEW without the COVID thing kicking in at that time.
True.
But he did well there. Jungle Boy goes up against Christian Cage. I don't know how you can put a ribbon on this, but Christian Cage at 50 years of age goes over there, upcoming hot property, one of these young folks that gets it, the fans are into. He has a gimmick that's liked and you can get into. He's got a great story. His dad is a nationally recognized television personality that a lot of us grew up watching. And then he loses to 50-year-old Christian Cage, who can only wrestle once or twice a week.
Well, it wasn't even a match.
Right.
And considering that it's supposed to be such a heated feud, I expected that to at least be a fight. And it wasn't even. And when did the Luchasaurus turn heel again?
Again, this is AEW in a nutshell. There's no... It's like Luchasaurus turns heel, or it appears that he's going to turn heel. Then Jungle Boy comes back, and no, fuck you, Christian. This is my boy. And then from out of nowhere, just snaps again. It's like... I guess he never really snapped the first time, but you get what I'm saying. It's just the storyline. Who the hell is writing this shit? They got like kindergartners putting this together, or what? Oh yeah, the Hardley Boys.
Yeah, I was disappointed because I was like, what? I expected at least a little bit of something, and you got nothing. And I feel that was kind of a trend a little bit on the show, on some of these matches, and I don't know. The crowd, I don't think was so into it. And no,
it was terrible. It was terrible.
The only thing I heard was Christian came into the match hurt, so they had to change up what they were going to do on the fly. How much of that is true, I don't know. Just what I heard. So that's always a possibility.
So if you're going to change things up, let's look at it this way. The only thing you've accomplished is you turned Luchasaurus heel. That's all you accomplished. So if that's what your goal was, and he is injured going in, let Jungle Boy get a beatdown win in a minute and a half over Christian. And while celebrating with his great friend Luchasaurus, have Luchasaurus choke slam his ass through the ring. But to have him lose to Christian Cage, or even worse, an injured Christian Cage, it's just mind-boggling to me, the logic used in booking.
Didn't say it was a great idea, just said that's a possibility. So
think about it. A year ago, Jungle Boy was wrestling or a little over a year ago, he was wrestling Kenny Omega, right? And I was like, whoa, this guy's going to be something. Now he's in a heated feud with Christian, which is okay. He needs something like that to develop a little bit more and get that. I get it. But to squash him like that, like, there's a couple of the ways I think they could have done it. If Christian is hurt, there's a couple ways they could have got around that. But, yeah, I was really like, what the hell? That was a match. I was like, I figured this was going to be a physical match. This was going to be something. And for it to end up like that, I was just kind of like, wow, glad I didn't pay a front row ticket to see that show for that, because I would have been pissed. That's old WWE type stuff.
No, WWE was never that bad. They were never that bad.
Oh yes, they were.
Well, not in my memory, anyway. All right, we move along.
Anyways, yeah.
AEW tag team titles on the line. It's the Acclaimed against Swerve and Our Glory. Who the fuck comes up with these names? Swerve in Our Glory. That is like, it doesn't even make sense.
Maybe one of their EVPs, but
it's horrible.
I get it, because his name was Swerve.
Oh, I get it. It sucks. Let's just say it. It sucks.
Bowens for sure had to have got hurt in that match. It sure looked like he got hurt big time too with that knee.
Who do we think got hurt?
I don't know if Jay will agree, but didn't it look? Bowens sure looked like he messed up his knee on that one move, big time.
Yeah, it looked bad.
I mean, he did finish the match, so I haven't heard the report yet either. But I thought it was all right for what it was. The Acclaimed were over huge. The fans loved them.
If you would have noticed that Swerve and Lee actually halfway through the match started switching from working it as baby faces to working it as heels because of the Acclaim being over so much. At least that's what I picked up on.
Yeah, they're doing a little bit more heelish type. That doesn't mean that they're turning heel, but they were definitely doing like, oh my god. But yeah, the crowd.
No.
Wow,
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying they. Right, I'm just saying they picked up on it. They're experienced enough to know, hey, these guys are over. Let's give the crowd the heels to go against since they are rooting for them. And I thought that was actually pretty good of them to actually be able to pick up on that and doing it. Now, if I was Tony Khan, I'd have called an audible from the back and I'd have gave the Acclaim the win just for that fact because they were so over. And then at the next pay-per-view, you could give the titles back or whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah. They claim they're decent. I'm not going to say they're great by any means, but I mean, the fans would have loved it if they won the match. Big time. I was shocked.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm not totally shocked that they lost, but I was just shocked at the crowd reaction. I was like, wow, people are really into the Acclaimed.
Well, that's because
they were over last
on the microphone every time they walk out to the ring and get in trouble for a lot of it. So I guess.
But it was a decent match. I didn't complain about it. It was fine.
Another quote that'll be in there. It was a decent match. I didn't mind watching. Jade Cargill takes on Athena for the TBS Championship. Well, I didn't expect Athena was going to win, even though I think she was more than qualified to win. She didn't win. How did it go?
The tag match was much better than this match. I'll say that much. Much better.
Well, that's because you don't have someone as green as Jade Cargill in it having to carry the weight.
Well, yeah, it's kind of a low bar. Yeah. Jade Cargill, okay, great, 37-0 in 2 years. What does that tell you?
Tells you she hasn't really.
Right.
I don't know what it tells you. Man, it's just. It tells you somebody's booking there that doesn't get it. I don't understand the love fest with her. I'm not saying she won't be a top talent. I'm saying she's not a top talent yet, and you're booking her as if she is. You have to be able to defend that. Look, wrestling's predetermined. We know that. What I'm saying, though, is, and I tell this to people that don't get wrestling all the time, championships are real. You don't just give a belt to someone. It's an achievement you have accomplished. You have taken your craft, your art, to a level that we feel that you need this as a representation of what you have accomplished. And they're giving it out like it's Pez candy. Every time Tony's head goes back, a belt comes out of his chin.
Yeah, I mean, I get, in a way, it's like, okay, they're trying to give her like that Goldberg kind of thing, but she's not dominating people anymore. But I mean, I guess she has to have some competition.
But she can't wrestle.
She's a little better. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that. Is she at the championship level though? Should she be wearing a belt and in the top 4 matches of a major pay-per-view?
No, I mean, if you see her, she does look like a star. I mean, she's obviously impressive.
Yes.
But in ring, yeah, she should be somebody challenging, beating people to challenge for the title. Yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. They're booking her wrong. She's not the person that they're portraying. I mean, you could say the same about Goldberg back in the day, but he was able to make it work. He was such a physical specimen and a freak of nature, and he was a legit athlete. And I'm not saying she's not, but I'm just saying that he was able to get all that accomplished, and they kept his matches super short for that reason. But as time went by, and he's defending the title against Diamond Dallas Page, in what was by far one of the best matches in his career probably ever. Maybe both of their careers ever. That was a phenomenal match. She doesn't have that in her.
No.
Maybe she will, but she doesn't.
I mean, she's got the, how can I say it? Not the in-ring. She's got everything else, it seems like.
Yeah, you're right.
She's got the talk. She's got the persona, but yeah.
Everything but the in-ring talent. That's a glaring omission when you're going to put a belt on someone and make them 37-0.
Agreed.
So, anyway, my opinion for what it's worth. Jade goes over Athena. Congratulations, champ. The Elite go up against Adam Page and the Dork Order for the AEW Trios Championships. Oh, my God. If I had a picture of Macaulay Culkin right now, I'd be putting it up on the screen. Who could have seen this one coming?
Yeah, I hate the foreshadowing because everybody knew it was kind of going to go down, but a typical Young Bucks Omega Trios match. It wasn't terrible. It's fun to watch, no doubt, but I think we all knew who was going to win.
We knew who was going to win when they announced the tournament.
Yeah, that's true. When I saw one side and I saw the other side, it was like, come on now. But probably, if not the match of the night, one of the top 2 or 3, though. Easily.
Well, they get the win. Congratulations. Whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to talk more about all that in a minute.
Well, sure. And I think the Hangman Page storyline with them is still ongoing. Because...
Well, we'll talk more about that in a minute, too.
There's a lot that could happen, yes.
There's going to be a lot of interesting things that are going to come out of the last 24 hours for sure.
Correct.
Brit Baker versus Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm versus Hikiro Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship. At least Brit was back in the picture again. Toni Storm gets the win. I'm okay with that. They brought her in for a reason. Toni is a qualified wrestler. She has been trained properly. She's not going to kill anyone. She's easy on the eyes. Not that any of the other ones in that match aren't. She's the total package. You could have gone with arguably any of the 4 in this one. I think Jamie still has a little bit more work to come along, but she's worthy of being in that top 4 spot that she got. I would have liked Britt to come back out with that belt again and be a 2-time champ. But I'm glad if it wasn't going to be her that it went to Toni. Jay, what do you say?
I'm glad they didn't put it back on Britt. I mean, just because I think right now, with everything that's come out within the last month, they're trying to keep heat away. So let's put it on somebody else. Give it to Toni, showing that we're not playing favoritism and things like that. I like Toni Storm. I do think that they are working towards breaking up Britt and Jamie Hayter since they've had some friction in this match. So it'll be interesting to see where the women's division goes from here. So
I agree. D-Train, what do you think of the match?
I agree with that. The Jamie Hayter Britt Baker thing's been brewing for quite a while now. They've teased it, which is one good thing I guess AEW can do is they do seem to stretch it out. Yeah, Toni Storm is the right winner. Actually, any one of that match I wouldn't have been disappointed with. Because I could see, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, another rematch kind of thing. Maybe there's still something else to be there. But Toni Storm, she deserves the belt. She really is, considering that she was pretty much done with wrestling until she got there. And it's nice to see she's got a belt. Like, she went to the company, she's got the championship.
Right.
She's young yet. She is very talented. Like you said, everything you said, easy on the eyes, everything. It was a pretty decent match. I enjoyed it.
Is she still doing her OnlyFans thing, or she got no time for that now?
I would imagine she is, but I haven't checked.
Okay.
Oh, she's still pumping out pictures, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say
she
it.
Is? Only now she's got a belt in them.
And maybe nothing else. That might be the new set of pictures.
Hey.
Thank you, Tony. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah, anyway, let's get to our main event of the evening. Jon Moxley, the two-time champion, going up against CM Punk, the AEW World Championship on the line. Punk, of course, the defending champion. Moxley, the interim champion. And I didn't see the match other than the last 2 minutes of it. So if one of you saw the match, give me an idea of what you thought of it. Jay, did you see the match? Jay, did you see the match?
No, I've only seen the clips from it. So,
D-Train, you watched it?
It's all stuck at me.
no, I only saw the clips from the match.
Very physical match. They teased the ankle thing a little bit. Moxley didn't bleed, but Punk sure did.
Moxley didn't bleed. Oh my goodness! Must be
No.
Christmas.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the other thing where it's like, Moxley said it was gonna be violence. So Punk's, he's beating. They each got out of each other's finisher a couple times. One of those. It was a physical match. I think everyone thought, Punk bleeding. Maybe he was gonna pass out. Maybe they're gonna go for a referee stoppage, which they never do. But that kind of thing. It actually picked up. I actually thought it was a pretty good match for those two. It was physical. The crowd, obviously, they were really for Punk at the beginning, and then there was a Moxley kind of. So I don't know. Maybe, as we'll get to, maybe even the fans of Punk maybe are getting sick and tired of some of his stuff. I don't know, but I think we all figured Punk was going to win in his hometown.
Would have been a hell of a swerve, wouldn't it?
It would have been a hell of a swerve.
Oh, yeah.
But considering what came next, makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so what came next?
Right.
Well, what came next is the match is over. Punk is celebrating. The lights go out. The fans pop because, of course, you think it's going to be The Fiend. I don't know if that's why they popped. But then you start to hear...
No, I heard MJF chants as soon as the lights went off, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you start to hear a phone message recording from Tony Khan basically saying, hey, I know you don't give a rat's ass about the fans, but this has gone on long enough. I'm not going to make you sign an extension. I'm going to give you a blank amount of dollars. They bleeped it out. And I'll even put you right in the casino match. And then he plays a clip of CM Punk back in the day saying that in ROH, saying that Devil's best trick was making you believe he didn't exist.
Yep.
And then you see the guy with the mask who won the chip earlier in the night come out, turns his back to the crowd, slowly removes the mask, and then the lights come up a little bit, just enough to show the scarf around the back of the neck, and the place explodes. Here's a little problem. You're in Chicago, and that place was blowing the doors out with the chant of MJF, and your guy just won the world title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the way that's supposed to work. Houston, we have a problem.
I don't know if we have a problem.
Well, you can flip Punk as a heel, which I don't even know that you're going to have a choice at this point in time because he's becoming unlikable.
And I think maybe that's where it's heading. And MJF is what the new rebel, like Stone Cold, flipping off the fans.
But he's never going to embrace the fans. I don't see him wanting that, even in a Stone Cold kind of way. I just think, and he tried to do it last night, but that wasn't going to happen. Go ahead, Jay.
I don't think he has to embrace the fans. I think they'll cheer for him whether he embraces them or not. I don't think he has to go the Stone Cold route. He can be the most asshole he wants to be, and the fans are still going to cheer for him in this situation.
And they did. They cheered for him. He flipped them off, and they cheered louder. They're like, yes, he flipped us off. And even I saw in, I think, Jericho in some kind of interview said, MJF, when you come back, the fans, you're going to end up being like the top baby face. They're like, you have no choice. And MJF said, no, I don't want to. He's like, you're not going to have a choice. And I hope, I would think that's maybe where they're heading with that.
I've been sitting on a comment here for a little while because I knew we were going to get to this point. So Keith O'Toole brings up, hey guys, what's happening? What was more shocking, Dominic's turn on Ray and Edge or MJF showing up at All Out?
Dominic.
You think that was more shocking?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
I guess I'm the only one that I knew there was a good chance that MJF would show up, but at the end of the night, when Punk is raising his arm with the belt, I didn't expect it to be there. So, for me, I think MJF was a little more shocking, but you guys both think Dominic was more shocking. So there you do. We got a split in the house, 2-1 though. They get the advantage.
And it's really, I actually wasn't shocked on the Dominic turn either. But at least they had been rumored for a while and they didn't do it, so it was kind of
right.
But MJF, I mean, the fact that no one had really talked about him, you'd heard little rumblings, but it's like he's gone. If he's gonna come back, Punk is the champion. It makes perfect sense because those two just weren't finished yet, even though they had the dog collar match. Like, they're just not finished yet.
I think if he wouldn't have come back tonight, he wouldn't have come back. So.
Yeah, and I'd like to know the true dollar amount, because I do believe Tony Khan did pay him to come in. I believe that is. Yeah. I think that part's a shoot.
All right. Well, if that's the shoot, then the shoot was a shoot. I don't know about that part. I think that's all part of the long game that they were planning, and that's one thing about AEW, for better or for worse, they have mapped out a game plan for, let's say, 12 months in advance, and barring injury, they just ain't going to budge from it, even if the needle is pushing in the wrong direction, to their fault or to their advantage, however you want to look at it. They pretty much have it in their mind they're going to go the length of the field with that football.
The only thing which I just thought of is when we were going to discuss is if this is an MJF faction, though, that group doesn't really look like a bunch of faces to me. So if MJF is turning face, then maybe it isn't a group. There's something going on there. But
well, is it a faction, or what's the dude's name? The guy who hands out the business cards?
Stokely Hathaway.
Stokely. If Stokely is an agent, that doesn't make them a faction. It just means that he might be escorting him down to the ring, like a Jimmy Hart.
But he's,
or you can look at it. Well, Jay? MJF has been known to hire people to do the stuff he wants them to do in the past. So why couldn't he have hired Stokely's group to do this tonight? And it's a one and done.
True. So I guess maybe we'll find out more on Dynamite and stuff. But
Infrared says Needle was shocking to him. Both were expected. One just took longer to pull the trigger.
Which one was the longest one that took longer to pull the trigger?
Yeah, I know, right? It was a neck and neck race on that one too. It wasn't a big difference.
I'd like to know the answer to that one, Infrared, because the Dominic.
The Ray, the Ray rumblings have been going on a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably even longer. That actually is a really good question. Now we might have to do a little homework on that.
Yeah.
And then there was still room for one more show on the weekend, and it was called the post-match press scrum. Which,
didn't have to
honestly, that was the best show of the fucking weekend. Oh my god. Yeah, what didn't get done on that? So, if anyone's living under a rock and has not seen the CM Punk press conference, I'm not going to show the whole thing, but we're going to look at a little bit of it here. So bear with me. I've never done a share screen on this before. It'll be my first attempt. Hopefully it works out smoothly.
Yeah, because it was a good 15, 20 minutes just with him. But it was...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Tony Khan, too, looking like a deer in the headlights. He is way over his head on this one. But
and I don't have two screens, unfortunately, so we'll have to make this work the best I can.
We'll just say after this, Tony Khan's got some work to do because... he's going to have to make a decision sooner or later.
Oh, good. I can All right, let's see. Bam.
But you should probably disclose who you're friends with.
I'm not friends with you.
I haven't had anything to do with Scott Colton in almost a decade. Probably wanted nothing to do with him even longer than that. It's fucking unfortunate that I have to come up here and speak on this when I'm on my time, and this is a fucking business. Why I'm a grown-ass adult man and I decide not to be friends with somebody is nobody else's fucking business. But my friends, if I fall backwards, will catch me. Scott Colton, I felt, never would have. My problem was I wanted to bring a guy with me to the top that did not want to see me at the top. Okay? You call it jealousy, you call it envy, whatever the fuck it is. My relationship with Scott Colton ended long before I paid all of his bills. I have every receipt. I have every invoice. I have every email. I have the email where he says, and I quote, "I agree to go our separate ways. I will get my own lawyer and you do not have to pay anymore." That's an email that I have. The only reason the public did not see is because when I finally had to countersue him through discovery, we discovered he shared a bank account with his mother. That's a fact. And as soon as we discovered that fact and we subpoenaed old Marcia, he sent the email, "Oh, can we please drop all this?" Now, it's 2022. I haven't been friends with this guy since at least 2014, late 2013. And the fact that I have to sit up here because we have irresponsible people who call themselves EVPs and couldn't fucking manage a target, and they spread lies and bullshit and put into a media that I got somebody fired when I have fuck all to do with him, want nothing to do with him, do not care where he works, where he doesn't work, where he eats, where he sleeps. And the fact that I have to get up here and do this in 2022 is fucking embarrassing. And if y'all are at fault, fuck you. If you're not, I apologize. But what did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed fucking dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national television and fucking go into business for himself? For what? What did I do, Dave? What did I ever do? Didn't do a goddamn thing. What's your name, sir?
D'Angelo.
Fuck the Pittsburgh Pirates. What are you doing? I'm from Pittsburgh.
I made it really clear in Forbes, and I just want to make it clear again. Nick,
it's not his position to make it very fucking clear. There's people who call themselves EVPs that should have fucking known better. This shit was none of their business. I understand sticking up for your fucking friends. I fucking get it. I stuck up for that guy more than anybody. Okay? I paid his bills until I didn't, and it was my decision not to.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have no commented when Nick first said it. It's my fault, and if I hadn't, it's my fault. It's my fault.
I appreciate
I should have just taken it head on because you never said it.
But I'm trying to run a fucking business, and when somebody who hasn't done a damn thing in this business jeopardizes the first $1 million house that this company has ever drawn off of my back and goes on national television and does that, it's a disgrace to this industry. It's a disgrace to this company. Now, we're far beyond apologies. Right? I gave him a fucking chance. It did not get handled, and you saw what I had to do, which is very regrettable, lowering myself to his fucking level. But that's where we're at right now. And I will still walk up and down this hallway and say, if you have a fucking problem with me, take it up with me. Let's fucking go. What's your question, Nick?
First of all, you're always very nice to me, and thank you. I wanted to ask about MJF. Obviously, he played a voicemail from you before he came out. Obviously, confronted you, Punk. Why now? Why is MJF back in the fold now? How do you both feel about him being around? How do you feel about the time he spent away? All of that.
Well, if I may, I am the one who asked him to come back because MJF's a big star in this company, and this is one of the biggest events. A year ago, CM Punk debuted here, and I thought it was right for the fans. And like I said, for the fans, I thought the best thing that we could do as a company was bring MJF back.
He wants me to work with pricks constantly. That's what it is.
Nevertheless, two of the top wrestlers in the world, MJF and CM Punk, could be a big match down the line.
Sorry to keep bringing this fucking up, but I've never spoken his word, and I don't know how long, so I'm a little fucking pissed off about it.
That's fine.
When it came down that he was going to sue me, I asked to talk to him. He refused. I asked for mediation. It was denied. I offered him money. He said it was not enough. He went ahead with the lawsuit and sued. It's his fucking funeral. I don't care. He shares a bank account with his mother. It tells you all you need to know about what kind of character that is.
You are always very nice.
Okay. How do you really feel about it? Damn. A lot went down in that press conference. A lot went down right after that press conference. So you heard what he said. Anyone's got a problem with me, I'm in the hallways. You can talk to me.
Somebody
Didn't
did.
take long, I guess, to find a couple people to take him up on that offer.
Yep.
So the reports coming out that I have seen literally right before we went up on this, the last one, it's from a reliable source who's got people in the business. And I'm not saying this is what happened, but again, generally speaking, this is somebody who comes out with information that's on the inside, is that almost instantly Punk gets in the back, he's going down the hall, and the Hardy Boys come up to him. And it appears that Nick was the aggressor of the two. They were both pissed, both, I guess, going back and forth with words, but that Nick maybe kind of chest bumped him or something like that. And the reports are that Punk threw the first punch. If you touch the man, he can punch you. The saddest thing about the whole thing is that the Bucks don't get he was right. He's right. They are horrible as in their role because they do have this little friendship camaraderie go, and they see these outsiders as a threat to their positions. Well, maybe it's because they're more over than you. But if you're truly an EVP, you care about the company, but they don't. They care about themselves first. This is our little sandbox. We built this for us to be the kings and queens. We are the Triple H's, the Shawn Michaels. We are the Hulk Hogan's. We can't have the actual Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Hulk Hogan's come in here because then they're going to take our spot. We're going to be back to where we were everywhere else. And that seems to be just exuding in what just took place in the last 24 hours. If you are an executive vice president, act like one. The fact that Hangman did what he did was wrong. They should have said that it was wrong. They didn't. Whatever apologies came off air. Punk was right in what he said. The apology has to be as loud as the insult. D-Train.
Good Lord. I know this whole Colt Cabana thing has been in such a talk since the split from WWE. And wow. There's quite a bit to unpack there, to say the least. I agree. You know, when AEW first started, like they said, it was all friends wrestling. You know, there's people in that company that probably didn't deserve a job. The Nakazawas and all, you know, I don't know. But I mean, you know, there's some people that they hired all their friends, all their buddies, and that's how it started. And obviously when the company grew and Tony Khan wanted to expand, he's getting bigger names to obviously help to grow with the talent that he has now. That's up and coming and growing. Yeah, I don't see the... I think Cody knew something was up when he left.
Oh, yeah. Cody saw the writing on the wall. There is no question about it. I can only imagine what's happened in the Cody household in the last 24 hours, the conversations he must be having with Brandy. It's like, you surprised?
Or how many phone calls he's getting. Hey. But if there was and I've heard the same thing too, a pretty big altercation, like right after they got out there, he's going to have Tony Khan, as I've seen even in that media scrum, he looks like a deer in the head. He's like, oh my God, what the hell have I gotten into?
He looks like he's on crack all the time or on coke. His eyes are falling out of his head, and he's always got that deer in the headlights thing going on. And it's like, dude, man, try something else, man, because that's not agreeing with you.
Locker room is slowly going to be dividing. Because, like, okay, Punk's this great thing. He's getting us much more notoriety than what we had. And he's getting all this money, and he is producing and all this. But is it worth it now? You know, is he totally right? You know, I mean, Punk has that history. Me and Punk have history. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But, you know, he does come off. But, I mean, he said a lot of true things there, too.
Yeah.
And it's going to come to the point where, and then maybe we're going to find out after we're done with this, maybe there's already been an interview. Maybe they've done something backstage. But something's telling me, I don't know. I don't think anyone's leaving. I mean, the Bucks got championships. Punk's got a championship. And if you do let somebody go, who do you let go? If you say Bucks, bye-bye, we're going
Hangman.
Do we go with Hangman?
Hangman.
Or do we stick with Punk? There
You're
might
gonna kind of have to keep the Bucks, I'm sure. I mean, they're also not only they're just under contract, but they're also your EVPs.
well,
They're the pillars.
so was Cody, but
Yeah, but Cody yanked that pillar out. They had no say in the matter.
yeah, Colt Cabana's. I don't know how I feel about him. It's like he's not even really doing anything anyways, and all this over Colt Cabana. I mean, I don't know. You got too many egos in there now. It was before when it was just the guys that hadn't been anywhere. It was great. Now you're getting some stars, and
And I'm not sure that it's egos necessarily. I think the issue is the fear factor, because they created this to be their sandbox, that they can do whatever they want and they can build their castles how they want, and it's my ball. You don't want to play by my rules, I'm going to take my ball, I'm going to leave, and you don't have a choice in the matter. But now all of a sudden you're bringing in people from outside the company, and you got guys like Miro who can out wrestle anyone else they had on their roster, period. You got guys like Moxley, which you can say what you want about the in-ring work, but his notoriety, his mic work is better than theirs. He's over with the fans more than they are. And the more guys they bring in, Daniel Bryanson, and the list keeps going on. And CM Punk, 7 years away from the business, never coming back to wrestling, comes back bigger than ever, blowing the doors off the buildings, selling merch, and they're just not liking it. It's bad. All right, you bring in CM Punk, I move from number 1 to number 2, okay. But now I'm down to number 5, number 6. My merch isn't selling, now I'm 7th. And their egos are just getting bruised. They're not looking at the fact that they've had record buy rates. They're not looking at the fact that they're selling out arenas. And they're letting their egos get in the way of the product at this point in time.
in a way, this is kind of, I know what Tony Khan's trying to do, and he is trying to be best friends with everybody, but sooner or later, that's where you could say the differences between the old boss and the other company and Tony Khan. There was still, the buck stopped with Vince. Nobody messed around, it was that way or it. With Tony Khan, it's almost like, I mean, there's some bruised egos there. Some people, were they given a bill of goods? Like, you're going to be this, you're going to be that now. But you got to understand, you got to bring in new people, too, to bring in with the young guys. It's...
a horse knows when a jockey is not experienced.
Exactly. He needs somebody that everybody respects and just can command, and like if he says something, it's like okay. Where Tony Khan, I don't know, and it's not Tony Schiavone as the head of talent. He's not the guy. You got guys like Arn Anderson that there use those guys for that stuff. I don't know, but maybe they don't want the job because they know what's going on. But it's pretty. What could be a very fun company, slowly, surely could be slowly. It's not. It wasn't going to be perfect forever. The fairy tale is finally seeing those cracks.
Yeah, and it was a fun company. That's the problem. And only a few months ago. I mean, the decline is rapid. I'm of the opinion that I'll be amazed if they're still in business 5 years from now. That if they're not purchased by the WWE by then. Because I think they're already on the WCW decline, but so much quicker.
Yeah,
they're following the same exact formula. It's like, did you not watch the rise and fall videos enough? I mean, you're bringing in all of their ex talent, making it your headline talent. And I'm not saying these guys aren't headliners, they are, but the same point, so was Hogan, Nash, and Hall back in the day, but it's still their ex talent. Where is your talent? And you're burying it and you're losing it. And now you got the infighting. That sounds familiar from WCW. It's just heading in the same exact direction. And what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing, expecting different results. And they are basically insane right now. Infrared brings up a great point, which I totally forgot about, which is Bobby Fish isn't getting re-signed because of a dispute he had with Dax. Again, reported. I agree. Things are out of control. Now, whether or not that is the main reason, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I do think that creatively he's looking at it saying, fuck this place. I'm going back with Triple H. And I think right now, not if for no other reason, if you say that AEW has more creative freedom than the WWE, I think that's fair. they allow their people freedom, too much freedom. But with that in mind, if you, as Tony Khan, walked up to your roster and said, right now, for the next 24 hours, anyone who wants out of their contract, just come see me, and I'm going to give you a full pass. You're out. No obligations. How many do you think he has on his roster at that point, after that 24-hour period?
I'd say at least a dozen would leave right off the bat.
At least.
And MJF might be one of those guys.
I think he would be the first.
Did he really bend over backwards again? Like, holy crap. Like, I might need you now because... and now
I got
you
problems.
kiss up to that guy because you lose him. They're in trouble.
I just don't. I think right now, they're all looking. The only reason he was a tolerable alternative is he wasn't Vince McMahon. And Vince is no longer the issue. And now you got another guy running the show who has creative openness, who is willing, not quite as much as Tony, but that's because you have to have an adult in the room.
Exactly. There's more structure there.
There's the word. And I think these folks, most people, any employment that anyone has, I don't care if you're stocking shelves at Walmart or in a major company, Forbes 500, it doesn't matter. You want to work for a place that has a structure to it.
Yep.
You might not want to be regimented, but you want structure, security, and a feeling that we know what the fuck we're doing. There's no feeling like that right now as a fan looking at AEW. And the thing that hurts me about this, I hadn't gone to a live card of wrestling in almost 6 years, maybe longer, until about a year and a half ago when I went to see AEW here in Orlando. They got me to go back. That was right after Punk made his return. And they got me to go back to a live arena. And I had a blast. Great night, great card. We had 2 shows, essentially, because you had Dark and then you had Dynamite. And I thought Dark was actually better than Dynamite that night. And I look at it now, and it's like I can't stay focused on it for 2 minutes. Like when I hear half of these names coming out to the ring, I don't want to see them. Guevara being one of the biggest. I don't want to watch him cripple somebody today.
Yeah. Maybe Guevara's been too distracted. Well, I don't know. It's, in a way, they are like the new WCW. In a way, he's right.
Yeah.
Vince is right.
That is what I'm saying.
I agree.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
And it's unfortunate because that company could be really, and they are different, and it could be really something, and they still are something. But man, there's, I had always said to my buddies behind the scenes for about a year now, I said, just wait. It's all glory. Everything's all roses. But sooner or later, somebody's not going to be happy about something, and something's going to happen. And here we are, where, who are you going to, you're going to piss off your young talent if you push Punk? Some people, the locker room divided. What are you going to do?
Stevie Wonder could have seen this coming.
Yeah. There's already rumors of wrestlers wanting out, like Malachi. I've heard Miro somewhat unhappy. Some other people, maybe there's a bunch more that just haven't been revealed yet. And that's what I'd be scared with at that company. And is Tony going to say, no, you're stuck? Or is he going to say, you don't want to be here? Goodbye. Because like you said, if he says 24 hours, as for release, you get it. How many would do it?
All right. Well, let's answer that question because I'm actually looking at the roster right now. Let's go through the roster and we can vote and decide what we think. So CM Punk, would he go? No, he's staying. He hates WWE and everything with it. So safe bet, he stays. Right. Anybody got a pen and pencil? Want to keep score of this real quick? You got anything handy there, Jay?
I don't. My dog's chewed all my pencils.
I'm looking.
That's not good for his diet.
All right, I got it.
You got it? All right. So right now we've got CM Punk staying. You can just put like little check marks, whatever's easiest. So we got one to stay. Thunder Rosa, she's going to stay. I'd put her in the stay category. Anybody else?
I don't know. The way she feels like she's been undermined by Tony Khan with Brit Baker, I think she'd jump to WWE in a fucking heartbeat.
All right, D-Train, break the tie.
I wish I could. I'm so in between because when WWE wanted her, they wanted her as a referee.
does Triple H still see her that way? You know what I mean? Like,
All right, then I'll break the tie. I'm going to say she goes. I'll say she goes.
sure, they need
Okay.
a female Latina kind of like besides Zelina. Yeah, sure.
By the way, do we know how badly her injury is? I know it's to
Yeah.
do with the back injury and with the discs, but I mean, that can be severe.
I've heard it's definitely going to be months. Didn't say
Oh.
exactly. At least a good month or two.
Do we
Maybe
know
3.
which discs are herniated? Like, is it the neck or is it the back? Don't know.
I think it's the
that's-
lower back.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
AEW is pretty good about not really revealing too much unless it becomes a major thing. So I don't know. They've kept pretty quiet. And isn't she off social media now? Didn't she?
Yeah, her husband was
husband's
taking it
taking
over, and then
So-
I think just kind of shut it down for a little while.
So, yeah, but I would agree she probably would leave at this point.
All right, so we got one staying, one going. We've got Swerve in Our Glory. That's two guys right there that came from Keith Lee and Triple H have a solid relationship. Keith's a smart guy. I think he can see the writing on the wall. I think Keith Lee says bye.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we're going into this,
I think Swerve would go back too because he was treated pretty well in NXT.
Yeah, if we're going under the impression that okay, AEW is falling apart, do we still want to be here? Yeah, they're gone.
And this
That's
is
at
my
least-
point, though.
Yeah, they're gone.
Okay, Wardlow. By the way, that's 2 check marks for leaving.
Wow, Wardlow.
Right.
I think he stays.
You think he sticks it out with Tony?
Yeah, he's not. You know how the WWE still has larger guys.
Yeah, I
so
think he would too. Just
Yeah, I think
right.
he stays. I think he stays.
All right, so we put another check mark in the staying category. Jade Cargill, she stays. Come on, man. Ain't nobody else going to give her what she's got.
I honestly think she'd
Yeah.
leave. I think
Well, then she
WWE
better
has
get used to
shown-
doing a JOP.
WWE's had severe interest in her once her contract is up, so I think she could go.
Maybe they're hoping she'll be good by then.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, you'd like to think, oh, she'd stay because they made her something that maybe she shouldn't be. I think she leaves.
I'm going to say she stays. She ain't going to get it better than she has it now. And Jay, what do you think? You're the tiebreaker.
I think she stays.
All right, so it's a stay check mark. Well, when it comes to the champions, they're doing pretty good with staying for the most part. And that brings us to Pac. I don't think he has a good thing to say about the WWE experience.
Probably not. But I could see him fitting with some of those. I could see some great matches he'd have.
Yeah, I
there
could see him
now,
staying.
with like the Pete Dunnes and wrestlers like that, and maybe even Walt. I still call him by their name. Sorry,
Right. No.
but yeah, he probably stays because they've been pretty good with him with with the COVID, him staying in place and not always being in the States and stuff.
Yep.
Where I don't see WWE being that tolerant with that, even with Triple H. So he stays.
There, like I said, there is an advantage to how much creative freedom you have in AEW, and the schedule's friendlier, and you're allowed to do other bookings and things like that.
Yeah, he does a lot of international stuff, obviously. So
Right. So
he stays.
he stays. Okay, some of these names we're just going to automatically say stays because the WWE probably have no interest in them of any magnitude. So somebody like Aaron Solo, who I don't even know who the hell he is, I'm just going to say he's staying. Okay.
Well, considering that's Bailey's ex-boyfriend,
Oh, is that Bailey's ex? Did not know that.
I would say maybe there might be there might be something going on there, so maybe not.
Yeah, but is the WWE going to do anything with him?
Oh, well, probably.
No.
But I'm just saying, even if there was, if there's some heat there, maybe not. So no.
Okay, so we're going to put Aaron as a no. He stays. He stays. Adam Cole. I say he goes back to Triple H land.
And what's going on with him?
I think he would jump in a heartbeat.
They mentioned him in that press conference. Like, something's not right with him. What's going on?
No, he's hurt. He's hurt. Again, they don't, they don't, going back to Brody, they just don't talk about stuff. So, all right, so we're going to keep Adam Cole going to the WWE.
Cole's one of those guys where if a lot of his friends left, he would be gone.
At this point, I don't think he needs a lot of his friends to leave. I think he's
Right.
ready to go. He's given that free pass. Adam Page, he stays because WWE wouldn't do shit with him. I don't think they even want him.
If it comes between Punk and him, I think they would keep Punk because he's a bigger name.
Of course.
So I say Hangman would go. He'd be
Well,
like,
no, they might get rid of him. I'm just saying, from Adam's standpoint, would he say, I want to go to the WWE or do I want to stay in AEW?
he's young enough yet. He could go to WWE.
But they won't take him.
I wouldn't say.
Let's
They
assume
wanted-
let's assume they're going to take everyone who wants to go. Does
No.
Adam Page ever headline a pay-per-view for the WWE?
No, but before they
I
signed
don't
with
see
All
it.
Wrestling, really big to trying to get him. Along
Yeah,
with
but I
all
think
those
now they're
guys.
looking back and saying, "Ooh, that was a close one. We almost hit that bullet." All right, I'm saying Adam Page stays. And Jay, what do you got? Stays or goes?
I think he would stay.
All right, and then
Overruled.
Stays.
That's fine.
all right, so we got Adam Page staying in AEW out of attrition. Alan Angels, I got to say he stays.
He's the
Jay,
big, right? He's the big guy of the group, the big muscle guy, right?
no, that's 10, isn't it? Alan Angels is number
Oh,
5.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's a good talent, but again, I just don't see what the WWE would do with him. I mean, he'd be in NXT or something like that.
Maybe Impact, but not. Yeah.
Although maybe I'm jumping a gun now. I'm thinking too fast. They're not doing shit with the Dark Order in AEW, and they're over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd probably stay.
see, now I'm starting to change my own mind. I'm thinking I'd leave if I'm him, because well, you can't use me any less than I'm being used over here. I'll get paid more. I'm on a better brand.
Well, that's
I
why I
might
said.
get a WrestleMania Royal Rumble at least.
Yeah, that's why I say it's. Some of these are very, very tough because a lot of these situations always varies on perhaps somebody else, and what I mean, it's.
All right, Alan Angels, I'm going to say he goes to WWE. Jay,
But
what do you got?
I think he would stay.
That's 1-1. D-Train, break it.
Better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
Yeah, I'd say he stays too because what
There
if a
you
lot
go.
of people do go? Maybe now he has a bigger opportunity in that company.
Good point as well. All right, so we got him in the staying category. Alex Reynolds, also of the Dark Order.
Well, someone in the comments said Alan Angels has already left AEW,
Well, he's on their roster page.
so they need to hire a webmaster.
I'm reading their roster page. Wonderful.
So, well, all right then. I was wrong.
That's funny as hell.
I'm wrong. Who's the guy?
By the way, War Hero, I love this idea. Dark Order could go to the WWE and join Judgment Day or serve Black. I like both of those. All right, Alex Reynolds, I'm going to say he stays
Yeah.
for no particular reason. So let's move along. We'll just jump ahead because we want to set maybe put 10-second time limits on these things. And Andrade El Idolo, does he return back home?
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
All right, Andrade is going back to the WWE. Put the check mark there. I'm going to skip some of these names just for the
Yeah.
time alone. Austin Gunn. Matter of fact, we're going to do the whole Gun Club as one. There'll be separate check marks, I guess, but Austin Gunn, Billy Gunn, and the other Gunn. Do they stay or do they go?
They go.
I agree. So that's
Yeah,
three
I could
check
see them
marks.
all going just because.
Absolutely. That's 3 check marks going to the WWE.
Yep.
Brian Cage.
We are tied at the moment, so.
Don't tell me that. I wanted to find out
Yeah.
at the end. Brian Cage. I don't want it to influence my vote.
He goes. They're not doing anything.
Oh, okay.
And he's getting
Yeah.
paid well to do nothing.
Yeah, he goes.
All right, Cage is gone. Brian Pillman Jr. I say he goes in a heartbeat. I think the whole game plan has always been to get to the WWE.
Well, there's obviously the storyline they could do with his father. And
Yeah,
do
Sure.
something with
I
it
think he-
there. Yeah, he'd go.
Right.
All right. Another one going to WWE. Brock Anderson. I mean, let's be honest. They ain't taking him. Okay.
No.
We'll put him down as a stay.
Maybe Impact, but yeah.
This one's an interesting one. Brody King. Brody King of the House of Black.
That is interesting. Because if Bray Wyatt returns to WWE,
Mm-hmm.
man, Brody King would be a heck of an asset to to his team if he had one. Oof.
I think all three of them would return in a heartbeat.
To AEW?
Brody King would stay
No,
or
to-
he would go?
WWE.
Yeah, I'm going to say Brody King
They would.
goes as
He
well.
would go.
Yep, I agree. So put him down as a go.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Bryan Danielson, does he stay or does he go? So here's what my thought is. Bryan is a family man. He's got more home time in the AEW. He has been a featured player, so he's not one of these guys not getting TV and FaceTime. With a smaller roster, though, there'd be more required of him. I don't think he had a bad experience in the WWE overall. Yeah, he had a fight, and the fans had a fight to get him the main event status at WrestleMania and get him a world title win at WrestleMania that wasn't going to be given to him originally. But all that said and done, they also were the group, though, that kind of forced him to retire, even when he was like, well, wait a minute, the doctors aren't saying I can't wrestle again. You are. I think he stays because
Right.
he's at that point in his career where he's wrapping things up, not necessarily in the next year or anything, but maybe next 3 to 4. And I think he's got that point where he's making decent money with Tony. He's got a lot of free time, spend time. His daughter's what, like 5 years old now?
Yeah, and if he still wants to do like Japan stuff and that, even though WWE did say, oh, if we bring you back, you'd be able to do that.
Yeah.
I say he stays, but eventually becomes a performance center coach or something at the performance center.
But for now, he stays.
I'd
right.
agree.
Yeah,
Well,
I can go with that.
We'll put him in the stay category. Buddy Matthews,
Oof.
a.k.a. Buddy
Go.
Murphy. Think he heads back over to the E-Land?
I think he stays.
Yeah.
That's a
It's a tough call. I'm thinking. I mean, they're not. I'm looking at his record for the year, and he's had 6 trio matches where he's undefeated. In 1 tag match, he's undefeated, and 0-1 in singles competition. So he's only wrestled 8 times that they're at least accounting for here on the page. But then again, it's the same page that didn't tell us that somebody's not part of their roster anymore that we just announced.
Oh, yeah. Well, he is definitely part of the roster, but at least they're using him in some kind of a role there. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, but with Triple H, do you think he would have more for Buddy to do there?
Well, he's one of those that it depends how many would really leave, because then you're going back to a place where maybe you're still not fully in the shuffle if too many people are to go. That's why I say he stays, but if he left, I wouldn't be shocked.
I'm going to say he stays, even though I think he would go. I'm going to say he stays.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. It's
All right, so we're going to put him down as a stay, and we're going to move on to Cash and Dax FTR. Or did we already address them? No, we didn't.
we did not.
They're champions in every place other than the company they're actually wrestling for.
No, we haven't.
So Cash and Dax, they go back. Under Triple H, they go back. Triple H is a tag team guy.
Yeah.
They are the hottest tag team. That is where they can make the most money.
They could use some tag teams too.
Yep. To me, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to get to walk around with, 20 pounds of hardware like they do nowadays.
And I don't think FTRs are going to be around much longer either. I think they're maybe good for another year or two. And I think, because I thought Dax, was really banged up, where he was talking about retirement almost like. So.
Well, we better enjoy it while we got it. And they also got cut out of the video game. So, yeah, they're gone.
Well, so did a lot of other people, so I've seen a list. But
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about that on a separate one then, because I've only not heard about them so far.
yeah, there's some other guys. I think like Santana and Ortiz, perhaps. Yeah, if they want one last payday,
Jay, what are you saying?
yeah, I say they stay. Actually, I don't know
All right.
why.
Jay,
I
break
think
the tie.
I think they go back.
Okay. Put down 2 check
I think
marks
they
and
go back.
2 check marks for going back to WWE. And that brings us up to Chris Jericho. We all know he'll go back because they've already made it clear they want him to come back and finish his career there. Triple H has been open about wanting him back.
Yep.
Yeah,
Jericho 110% would go back. Christian Cage probably would go back. I mean, I don't know what's the point at this point. You got nothing left to do, but maybe one last run with Edge.
again.
I
Maybe
can
as a
see
tag
that.
team again. Yeah, going out as a tag team.
Right.
And they
Yeah.
both at that point where they retire almost at the same exact time. So maybe their last match is a tag team match or something.
Yeah, someone like him, how bad is, was there bad blood or did he just get a better offer?
Well, I think he was being, again, Vince determines that, you're no longer that guy anymore. He doesn't let the fans determine it. And Christian knew that the fans were still behind him, and he's proven that when he went to Impact, and he proved it now when he went to AEW.
Yeah, if he goes back, it would be very short. It would be
Yeah.
a short little run kind of thing, and then
Well, that's all they got left at this point in time. But yeah, I think he goes back. So there's another check mark in the go back category.
Yeah.
We're going to skip on Christopher Daniels because he's almost done. Chuck Taylor, why bother? Claudio Castagnoli. He's going back. If he'd have known Triple H was going to be taking over in a 2-month period, he wouldn't have left.
Right.
I'll agree with that, but I'm just going to say this on my own. Again, a lot of this varies on a lot of different variables because I can't all of a sudden 50 new wrestlers in the WWE would be like, what the hell? But yeah.
Well, it's all fictitious anyway, but I'm just trying to make an overall point here based on their roster and the people that are committed to them that if given the chance to get out of that commitment, how many would say, get me the fuck out of here?
Yeah, he'd certainly consider. He wouldn't have left if Triple H was there. You're right.
There you go. All right, so we're going to put him down to staying. Jericho will play both sides against each other.
Yeah.
Yes, he would. All right, next one's going to be an easy slam dunk. CM Punk stays.
Right.
Or retires for good, but he's not going back. Made that clear because he's not going to work for the doofus son-in-law.
Yeah.
He's not. They threw as much money at him as Tony Khan did.
There's a very slim, but yeah, ultimately he stays.
He stays and retires with this company. All right. So put him in the stay category. Colt Cabana, because of CM Punk, wants to go. I don't think the WWE, they've proven they have no use for him by saying that in the past, and he's only older now.
Right.
Yeah, if he had a choice.
But his choice would be to go.
But not the WWE.
Well, his choice would be to go to WWE. It just wouldn't be their choice to take him. But for the purpose of this little
Right.
fictitious poll that we're doing, I think very clearly he would say, I'm out of here, bye.
Right.
All right, so we're going to put him as leaving. Danhausen, not going to bother because there's no way they're going to take him. Daniel Garcia stays in my book. He's just too green or young in the game for the WWE to probably have the interest in him.
He could be an NXT talent guy.
I don't know.
He could.
Right.
But they're
That's what
actually
I'd
doing
say,
something with him in AEW.
NXT.
AEW is actually doing something with him right now. So do you think he wants to leave, or would he
But
want to
if they
stay,
could-
especially with a smaller roster? I think he stays. That's my call.
He probably stays, but I think NXT would have definitely some interest for sure.
Okay, but we got 2 for staying, so that makes him staying.
Yeah.
Give him the check mark. Dante Martin, he leaves.
No.
Even though he's been given some time, I haven't seen him lately. Then again, I don't watch the product as much.
Well, he was in the ladder match, casino ladder match.
Oh, was he? Well, there you go.
Briefly.
Yeah.
Briefly. Cup of coffee. Yeah.
It's like one of the last guys. So I think he stays, though.
All right. So Dante, you say he stays. I say he leaves. Jay, break the tie. 10-second shot clock. Go.
I think he stays. Just smaller roster. He might be able to do a little bit more than what he's doing now.
All right. Put him down as a stay.
Yeah, and if his brother ever comes back.
Well, he tried coming back. Got injured right again.
Yeah, I know. That's what I say.
Fragile little guy. All right. Next one's going to be interesting because I don't even know. Darby Allen.
I think he stays.
Yeah. The artistic freedom and the fact that he can kill himself on TV.
And he's already turned down NXT before.
There you go. I guess it wasn't so hard after all, was it?
No, he stays.
Darby stays on the sinking ship.
WWE won't kill himself. WWE won't let him kill himself like he can do in AEW. So, yeah.
Exactly. Dustin Rhodes.
He leaves.
You think he goes back to Goldust?
Sure, he's respected as a trainer and stuff. I think he would. His brother's there. Why
Okay.
not?
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Forgot about that.
Not as a wrestler.
I could see him going back.
All right. Dustin's going back.
Maybe
Bye.
a behind-the-scenes guy, but definitely he'd go back. Yeah.
I'd be a little surprised if WWE would have interest.
Right.
But again, we're talking about what the next individual's choice would be if given one. Eddie Kingston.
He stays.
Eddie stays.
Yeah.
Jay.
I would think he'd go, just to be done with all the crap.
I think he stays because he could never handle a structured environment like the WWE. He couldn't be happy in one. I think this lack of structure plays to him. It allows him freedoms that he probably needs. So I say he stays. Is that 2 votes for stay? All right, so mark him as a stay. Ethan Page, he leaves. He is so pissed it ain't funny. He is one of the disgruntled.
Yep.
And the WWE could probably find something to do with him.
Yep.
All right, put him down as gone.
Sure.
I'm going to skip Evil Uno. Kazarian's at the end of his career. Fuego del Sol is unproven product. Griff Garrison.
No. See, we could have made this easily. Did they go to WWE State or go to like Impact or somewhere else? Well, I guess that's obvious, but
yeah, I mean, like Griff could go to Impact and get a little more time in there or something like that. But yeah, WWE ain't gonna take no Griff.
Yeah.
Hook
stays.
He better if he knows what's good for him. WWE first day is gonna be the barber's chair, man.
Yeah.
Fix that,
Might
man.
be their champion if he stays. Good God.
Yeah. All right. So Hook is going to stay and be the next AEW World Champ. I'm going to skip that because Jake Hager. Hey, they made him a world champion. They're not going to do it again, but I'd still say he goes to WWE.
Nah. Maybe he'll stick back. Maybe he'll stick to his UFC or his fighting career.
Well, in this case, we're saying he's going to either stay at AEW or go to WWE. So
I think he stays. They've already got
stays?
all fighters in WWE. I don't know.
All right, Jay, break the tie. Go.
Ooh.
I think he would go. I could see him going back, especially if Jericho went back. I could see him doing a program there together.
Yeah, he needs a manager though. Jake Hager's not good on the mic.
All right, so we're going to put him down as staying. Yeah, no, he's not good on a mic at all. And it's not because of the lisp, because Dusty had a lisp, and that don't matter. All right, Jay Lethal. He goes. He hasn't had a WWE run. I think he would like to. I'm surprised that they haven't given him one. He's phenomenal. It's a crime that he hasn't been.
Speaking
on
of
the roster.
phenomenal, put him against
Well,
AJ.
Yeah, you could. That's what I'm saying. The fact that he hasn't gone there is amazing to me. But maybe, yeah. Well, now I'm starting to think maybe there's a reason he hasn't gone there.
I'm surprised
he
him and
doesn't.
CM Punk don't have beef. Outside history. Jay Lethal's the one to break in his CM Punk's wife into the business, so to speak.
Oh, that's right.
But I guess that's the past. Jay Lethal,
I'm going to say Jay Lethal goes to WWE. Train, what do you got?
I think he stays.
Okay, Jay, break it.
I think he goes. Like I said, he could have good matches with AJ, Ricochet, any of those guys.
I agree.
Yep.
He certainly could.
Sure as hell be exciting. All right, so Jay's out the door. Put him in the check mark category. I'm going to skip Jeff Hardy because he shouldn't even be on the roster.
Well, I don't think he's on anybody's roster right now.
Well, he's on theirs right now. I'm on their official
Well,
page.
You know what I mean, though. But
Yeah, no, he shouldn't be. That's
Yeah, they haven't officially let him go yet.
But
No.
you know what? If he was released, I think WWE would take him back.
Vince McMahon might have taken him back. The WWE can't right now. They have too much negativity on
Oh,
them.
yeah, no, in those regards. But I mean, they tried to get him back before he left. As we do a Hall of Fame and all that. So,
Well, that's before they realized
Yeah,
that
that's
the position
true.
was accurate.
so that's a 50-50. I mean, there's a fine line how far they want to go. But I mean, if he had the chance to, and there was no problems, I think he would. But if there's a no, you can't because of this, then obviously he has no choice but to stay.
All right, I'm going to mention a name. We're not going to vote on him because I just don't see it being logical. But I like the guy personally, John Silver of the Dark Order. I enjoy him a lot. He's funny as hell. He's short, yeah, but he's built. He's kind of got that Taz thing going on. I don't think the WWE would entertain it. I just don't. So we'll say he stays for the sake of argument. Give him a check mark for stays.
I'd like to
John,
see him, yeah.
What? Yeah.
I'd like to see him break away from the Dark Order.
I don't know that it would work as well for him. I think he's perfect with that group. I mean, he could try. Like I said, his personality is phenomenal. I mean, he's just such a. You want to have a drink with this guy.
Yeah.
You want to hang out and bullshit with him. He is just seems so down to earth, so easy going, and he's not happy. I'm sure about the lack of TV time either, but he ain't bitching about it.
True. I don't know. How old is he even?
He's young looking. He can't be 30, 2, maybe?
Because, again, there'd be a guy, I hate to say NXT, but maybe.
No, he could do well anywhere. I mean, his wrestling is good.
But he's probably, yeah.
He's
one of
comfortable with
those
the
that-
microphone.
He's one of those, he's talented enough, but probably would get lost in the shuffle in WWE. Probably.
Yeah, but he get paid a lot more, and he's getting lost in the
Yeah.
shuffle where he's at now. So.
True. You're getting paid to eat and catering.
All right, let's
I
vote
say he
on this
stays,
next.
though. I say he stays.
All right, we're going to vote on John Silver then. Okay, I say, given the opportunity, I say Silver would go. Jay, what do you got? John Silver stays or goes?
I think he would stay. I think
All
he
right,
would
he
stay
stays.
because smaller roster might get more TV time.
Okay,
Yeah.
put him down in the categories of stay. John Moxley.
Stays.
I'm
Goes.
thinking- Yeah, I'm going with goes, man. I think the Shield reunion. Well, the only thing, he won't have the freedoms to go cut himself open all
Yeah,
the time.
that's what I was going to say. He's not going to bleed every week on WWE.
He won't be able to go to guerrilla combat and go through light bulbs. He kind of likes that shit.
That's why I say he stays, because he does a lot of independent stuff, too, and he likes that
Yeah,
stuff.
I just changed my mind. He stays. All right, mark John down as a stay. Jungle Boy. If he's smart, he leaves.
Yeah, that's a very
If he's
interesting
smart.
one. That's a very, yeah.
Leaves. You're young. They'll put you in NXT. You'll get developed better. You'll get all the packaging in the world, and then you hit the main roster, and it's all running to the races. It's a no-brainer.
Would WWE capitalize on the fact that he is Luke Perry's son, like
course they
AEW kind of is but isn't?
Yeah. No,
Then
they would totally do that. Why wouldn't you?
the girls like him, the fans like him.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of NXT yet for a little bit of growing pains.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'd say give me a year.
I can see the NXT
Right.
fans cheering for him and be happy, and the fans behind him. Yeah,
Yep.
I'd go. He's
All
somebody
right.
WWE I think would have very good interest in.
Let's mark him down as leaving. Kenny Omega.
No. He'd rather maybe back to New Japan or something, but I don't think WWE.
Yeah, I think he stays at this point. It's kind of, he's a pillar. He's one of those EVP peoples. He's the creator of the sandbox.
Right.
All right, Kenny Omega, mark him down as staying. Bobby Fish is on his way out the door. There you go.
He might already be back in WWE.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Kyle O'Reilly, does he follow suit? I say he definitely does.
I think so too.
Oh, sure. If Cole and Fish were to go back with Roderick Strong still there, and
Well,
Undisputed
Cole-
reunion,
Cole's already out indefinitely, and Fish is gone. So what do they got for Kyle O'Reilly? Nothing.
yeah, he would go.
All
Big
right, so O'Reilly
Undisputed
goes.
reunion on
Yep.
the main roster. Yeah.
Lance Archer.
Nope. He stays.
Does anyone care?
WWE
Yeah,
already had
he
him once.
stays.
That had nothing to do with him.
All right. Well, I've already been outvoted no matter what, so we're going to say he stays. Lance Archer, check mark for staying.
Maybe back to New Japan for him.
Luchasaurus.
WWE did have him too once before.
Yeah, and didn't realize what they had apparently, but now they've had a chance to look and see this gimmick and go, hey, we can make money selling that mask. I say
no
he goes.
kidding, right?
Yep. They like that merch money.
Because does AEW even do that? If it is, that's a lost.
I haven't seen one, but then again, I haven't looked at their
Yeah,
merch
that's a
page.
lost thing. So,
I don't
Well-
think they do sell them.
No, so I'm going to say
well,
he
now
goes to
he's a heel, so he
WWE.
won't, but
Train, he goes or he stays?
probably stays. But I think WWE definitely takes a hard look at him.
All right, break it, Jay.
I think he goes. They could do a little repackaging.
We agree.
Yeah, maybe he wouldn't be the mask guy anymore, but I don't know. Or he would. Interesting.
All right, that brings us to. We're not voting on this guy at all, but is he even around anymore? Luther? I haven't seen him in a year.
That was a favor, I think, for Jericho to bring him in for back to stuff in Japan. So I say no. I haven't
Well,
seen
we're
him
not going to vote
in-
on him, but I'm
Yeah.
like, why is he on the roster page? I mean, god dang. Just like Mark Henn, I haven't seen him in forever. Oh, it's Private Party. Sorry. Matt Hardy. Let's vote on Matt.
I think Matt would go back for one more round.
One more round.
One more round for Matt.
Yeah, I know he's pretty beat up and all that, but I think he would. If Triple H would let him be creative, sure.
All right. Yeah, I think Matt gets out and finishes up with the WWE.
Yeah, it'd be a good feel moment for maybe the Hardy reunion, retirement, Hall of Fame. Sure.
But Luther has apparently been on Dark, which is why, because I don't watch Dark anymore.
Who watches Dark?
What's that?
I used to. And Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus would be a hit in the WWE. I agree. All right, so let's see. Where does that leave us? So we have Matt going.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks, they stay because nobody wants them. So I would suggest that we just put 2 check marks in the stay category and move along.
I think WWE would.
Yeah,
look
I
at
think
them, especially if the,
Not today, they wouldn't. Their best days are behind them. They wanted them back when they were the Young Bucks. Now they are the Hardley Boys.
True.
The hairline's receding now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe the Bucks.
And I
would
don't
go
think
back
they
to,
jump ship on Kenny.
Yeah,
There.
that's a variable. If Kenny stays, they would stay. If Kenny was to go, he probably go. They'd go wherever he goes.
You can't have all the pillars leaving. What's holding up the damn building?
Sure, you can. Especially if it's a choice. If Punk is the division between them and the EVPs, and Tony says, "Adios, Bucks. We don't need you."
I've just come up with a comic strip that I can do in my head here, like a single cell comic strip of all the pillars leaving at once, like heading in different directions, and Tony, the little frail Tony, struggling to hold the roof still up.
Yeah, wouldn't be the first time Pillars left the company to another one though. Hulk
But
Hogan.
all at once, and so quickly too. That's the thing. All right, Matt Menard. I think he stays,
Yep, he already had his cup of coffee there.
and it was decaf.
Might have been
All right.
sugar, maybe sugar free, but yeah, decaf. Yeah.
All right, Matt Menard, mark him down as staying. Max Caster. So this will be for the Acclaimed in general. I don't know that WWE wants a wild card like this.
Yeah, I think they stay. They weren't even a team until Tony put them together, so they stay.
That's true.
All right, so we're saying he stays, right?
Yes, sir.
Mark it down there. We're not going to vote on Michael Nakazawa, but has he been on the program?
Yeah, but he doesn't wrestle. He's just like
Okay.
a stooge behind the
Okay.
scenes, kind of like so. Yeah.
All right, Miro goes back. There's not even a question about that.
Yep.
All right, Mark him is leaving. This is going to be a tough call. Mr. Brody Lee Jr. He stays.
You mean his son?
Yeah, negative
Yeah,
one.
I think so.
Oh.
He's on the roster page. Don't give me shit.
Well, I was just trying to figure. I was like, Brody Lee Jr. Oh yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
negative one.
obviously.
He stays. All right, mark him down as a stay. He'll probably be the world champ.
Then again, Braun had an 8-year-old or whatever as a tag champ, so
By the
was a
way,
thing. That was a
Ba-
thing.
Bailey superfan Izzy from back in NXT was one of the reporters in the
Yep.
scrum yesterday. All right, Malachi Black, he's gone.
If he isn't already, yep.
He's gone. Mark him down as gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, his wife's there. Makes perfect sense. Go back.
Refresh me. Who's his wife?
Zelina Vega.
No, no kidding. I did not realize that. I don't keep up on all these relationship ones as much
Yep.
as probably. Orange Cassidy, not a chance in hell is he going to WWE.
Nope. The WWE fans would not understand it.
They
I
wouldn't
don't even know
want
if I
to.
understand it fully. So, AEW.
Yep, that's where he has to be. All right, so he stays by default. Ortiz, by the way, if you haven't seen his picture on the AEW roster page, you should look at it because it really makes you look at him and think he wants out.
Well, they are beefing, and I don't know which one is beefing with who. Obviously, both of them.
Yeah,
Mm,
I think Ortiz goes.
it's too bad they weren't.
Anyone second the motion?
It's too bad they weren't still a team anymore. Because then I'd say Impact.
I think he would do pretty well in WWE.
All right, he's gone. Markham is gone.
Yeah, I say he's gone, but I'd say it would be Impact. They have history there.
Our next name coming up has an impressive 4-0 record in Impact Wrestling. Does he stay or does he go? Paul White.
He would go back, but not as a wrestler.
Well, he's not wrestling here anymore either, so that was more of a goof. We're going to leave him off the checklist because he's not performing
Yeah,
in the
because
ring.
Vince said, go ahead, take the money. So he didn't care. So
Right.
if WWE had interest, he'd go back. Not as a wrestler.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yes.
Stays.
Yes, what?
Yes, he leaves.
I'm saying he stays. I think he's too young to realize the opportunity.
Well, that's why some NXT seasoning might help.
No, but I think he would stick with what's right now happening because he's already getting pushed. He's already moving up the card,
Yeah.
and rather than start over at the bottom. But yeah, you're
Right.
starting at the bottom, but you're going to be bigger at the end. And I got a feeling he'd take that. It's like when people win the lottery, you got $10 million you just won over 30 years, or we'll give you $2 million right now.
Yeah. One of
They
those
take
guys.
the $2 million.
I got you. One of those guys where, okay, maybe he's not complete yet, but give him a year or two, and what if he does get complete? Now he's free.
Yeah.
Now WWE really wants him because he's a
Yep.
commodity. So yeah, you got me.
All right.
Stay.
Mark him as a stay. Preston Vance, a.k.a. number 10 of the Dark Order. I mean, you have to lose the mask, which he used to wrestle without a mask before the Dark Order. WWE, I think he's ready for a change. Jay, what do you say?
I think he might stay.
All right. D-Train?
See, hard to say with Triple H's philosophy. Does he like the bigger guys still?
Well, Preston's got a good size to him.
Again,
He's one of the
those
biggest
where
guys in the
WWE
Dark
would
Order.
Take a look. Maybe there's some unrealized potential there, but he probably ultimately stays because AEW's gonna need some people if they lose all these people.
All right. So I said he goes WWE, and Jay, you said he goes?
I said he stays.
Stays? Okay, so that's two people saying he stays. Mark him down as staying. Now it gets interesting. Ricky Starks. That's all, folks. I say he goes.
Goes. He runs.
Yeah, he runs with his hair on fire. Mark him down as out of here. Sammy Guevara is not going fucking anywhere because there's only one guy on the friggin' planet that would allow him to wrestle under their banner, and that is AEW.
Not so sure about that.
Well, I'm saying he stays because he knows better. His credit score sucks for in-ring work.
Yeah, but WWE's not. Yeah, I guess it's improving their in-ring work.
No, I'm saying so far as getting your opponents injured. He's got a Nia Jax credit score of 250.
Well, yeah, that's what I said before. Yeah,
So nobody wants to get in the ring with somebody with a 250 credit score.
but imagine if Sammy Guevara wasn't so injury prone. Imagine matches like Ricochet and stuff like that. It could actually be.
Imagine if I could get on the top rope and do a 360.
Yeah,
I can't. And guess
I'd like
what?
to see-
He can't wrestle without hurting people. He proved it.
Yeah.
125-pound girl dropped her on her head.
There's a couple ways to look at. You know, they always say it's not a ballet, all that, but
But he steps on a lot of toes that other people don't seem to be having problems with.
they'd have to take a look, though. A young guy like that, he does have ability. There's no question about it. But if he really is an injury and they look at it like, yeah, he injures too many people, then they wouldn't. But I think they would at least. I think he would.
All right,
If
I'm saying he
WWE
stays.
if
You're
they
saying
have
he
interest.
goes. Jay,
Yeah.
what do you got, man?
I say he stays. He's got it too good there right now.
Does he? Yeah, I guess he does.
Better than he would. All right, mark him down as stays because I'm acting like Triple H right now, and I don't want the fucker. Samoa Joe.
Ooh.
I actually think he stays. Based on where he's at in his career, the amount of time he's got left. If this Ring of Honor thing ever does go anywhere, I think he wants to be a part of that because that was where he really launched. Or at least a big part of his launch.
The Joe thing is strange because they released him, they brought him back for that brief time, and then he was released again.
So I say he stays in AEW. What do you got, Train?
Probably, but I say he stays, but I'm not entirely sold on that.
Well, it's all fiction anyway, so
yeah,
we can
I know.
have fun with it. Jay, you're going to say he stays or goes?
I think if he had the opportunity, he would go back to work under Triple H.
All right. Well, 2 out of 3 say he stays, so that's where the check mark goes.
I mean, he could be an enforcer for the bloodline or something, even though he's not part
But
of that particular family.
No, but he's a Samoan. He
But
does.
he is Samoan,
got
but not.
He has the blood, if not the bloodline.
But he's the only Samoan that's not a part of that particular
Right.
Samoans, which is
Right.
poor guy. But
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
see. I am not going to put Satnam Singh on the block because no.
not anymore.
We already have an almost.
Yeah, no mind.
Well, there's a tag team, by the way. Satnam Singh and almost is a tag team. I like that. That'll put asses in the seats. Scorpio Sky leaves so quickly that you can't even see.
He goes.
Yeah. He won't even need a plane. He'll fly himself there. Mark him down as gone. Sean Spears. Is he a perfect 10? Or is he the
leaves.
chairman?
He leaves. He's good friends with Cody. Trips is there.
I like that.
I think he goes.
All right. Now he's also had a little bit of issues with injuring people, but not lately.
I think the fans will start chanting 10 for him again, too.
Not gonna even go into Sunny Kiss.
I thought he was released, and then you still see him on TV. I don't need to deal with that. Yeah, no, WWE, no.
Trying to care, but I just can't. Sting stays because he's done. This is it. He didn't have a great experience in the WWE other than money.
Yeah,
And
nothing for him there.
I think what they did to him at WrestleMania, he's probably not thrilled about. And then, going out with the injury and everything else, I think he just wishes he didn't do that, maybe.
I mean, even if they offered him, okay, we're going to offer you all his money just to do a match with The Undertaker, just because I know that's still a match. I don't want to see that now. But
No, that's way past its opportunity.
But yeah, ultimately, yeah, he wouldn't go back. But if they said, that would be the only match I could see him going back for, though. But no.
I'm gonna drop one more name and then we'll tally everything up. Wheeler Yuta. If he's smart, he stays.
I could see him leaving.
I could see him leaving. I just don't see him ever reaching the pinnacle that he's already reached in AEW with WWE.
Yeah, I say he stays for now. But again, I could see him, imagine him and Pete Dunne, guys like that size.
Oh, I can imagine it too. I just can't imagine WWE imagining it.
Yeah, maybe give him another year or two. Let's see how he develops, and maybe another bigger star or better wrestler, and then maybe. But yeah, right now I'd say no, not yet. He stays.
All right, so we got him staying. Now, quickly though, we got to get through this. The ladies division. So just we're just gonna hit yes and no.
Just yes or no. Gotcha.
Yep, just yes or no. So Anna Jay, stay or go? I say she stays.
Stays.
And that's already 2, so we're going to head and mark it off. Put her in the staying category. I I'm skipping some people who I don't even like AQA. I have no idea who that is.
No.
Looks like Tasha Steeles, but I know it's not. But I don't know who she is.
I think she's a Booker's T student, but yeah.
Haven't seen her. Abaddon goes.
No. Stays.
Jay, break the tie.
I think she stays.
Okay. Put her in the stay category. Athena goes.
Stays.
Goes.
That's a going away party for Athena. Dr. Brit Baker goes because she wants some Charlotte.
Yep, and Adam Cole's there. Yep.
I think she stays.
2-1. She goes. The Bunny.
I just don't want her in WWE.
No, I do. Bunny stays or goes? Stays. I agree. Stays. Put the Bunny down in the stay category if you would. Emi Sakura goes and has great matches with Asuka.
Sure, I buy that. Yes,
I could see that.
There we go. Put her down as leaving Las Vegas. Hikiro Shida.
She leaves, but no explanation. Oh God,
Goes.
She goes, but not to WWE.
Well, I say goes too. So mark her down is gone. Jade Cargill, she stays.
Gone.
Yeah, she stays.
Yeah, what? Okay. Yeah, it doesn't say nothing. All right. Mark her down is staying. Jamie Hayter. She's getting TV time. I say she stays.
Goes.
Break the tie.
Stays yet.
Put her down as stays. Chris Statlander goes.
Stays.
Break the tie.
I can see her going.
There we go. Mark her down is gone. She's been out for a while. Layla Hirsch stays.
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 Mark her down as staying. I did not even realize. I thought it was like just a talent exchange. Did not realize that she's no longer on Impact. Madison Rayne.
Yeah, she recently signed there.
Because
Stays.
Tennille Dashwood.
Yeah,
is
she's a
also-
trainer.
Trainer with who?
AEW.
Yeah, didn't know.
Impact.
No, she's not at Impact. She's on AEW now.
Yeah, she had a match in her first night.
Right.
First night there. Who'd she wrestle? Like Jade or something?
Oh, that's right,
Something like that, I thought.
right. Yeah.
So she'll
And
stay
that just-
because
And I was a little bummed because I liked her and Tennille together. I thought that was a good teaming.
I mean she probably would Impact go back, but she'll stay at that point.
All right, so we're going to say she stays. Mark her down as such. Mercedes Martinez stays. Nyla Rose stays.
God, yes. Nia Jax 2.0.
Let's see. Paige Van Zant stays.
I could see
I
them
think she
doing something
goes.
with her and Ronda or Shayna.
Yeah, I say she goes.
Jay, are you saying she stays or goes?
I think she'll go.
All right, marker is gone. Is Penelope Ford even? She's 2-0 overall on the year, so I guess that says it all. Forget Penelope Ford. We move along. That's somebody who actually gets in the ring once in a while. Red Velvet stays.
Stays.
Okay, marker down is staying. One of the pillars only wrestled 6 times in the year. Rio stays.
Yep. Stays.
I don't see WWE booking schoolgirls. If there were, they'd have Izzy.
Well, they kind of done that with Saray a little bit, but
Yeah, but
stays.
Saray is not. She doesn't look like a little girl. I mean, this one looks like she could be going with a lunchbox any day.
What if
Ruby
Kenny Omega's
Soho.
go? Yeah. Who?
Ruby Soho. After getting dropped on your head last night, where do you want to go tomorrow? It ain't Disney World, but I'm going to WWE.
Liv Morgan's there.
Yeah, I'd say Ruby's gone.
Yeah, I'd say so. At this
I
point,
could see her going back.
She goes, yeah.
Mark her down as history. Serena Deeb goes back to the WWE to finish up.
Sure. She's reestablished herself. Yeah, she goes.
All right. Put her down as history. Ty Mello, don't call me Conti. I thought she got rid of the name because it sounded too close to something else.
Yeah.
Stays.
Yeah.
Stays. We got 2 stays, 1 leaves. She stays.
Yep.
Don't want the bitch. We already talked about. Did we not talk about Thunder Rosa staying or leaving? I guess not. We're just doing.
We talked about it a little bit earlier with the.
Oh, let's do it now. Thunder Rosa stays or goes?
Goes.
I think she stays.
Goes.
All right, she's gone. Toni Storm, does she return or does she stay? She ain't going back. She hated that.
Still too bitter for her right now. She stays.
She hated it under Vince.
Yeah, I don't think she's going back.
I just think it's too fresh in her mind right now.
Yep. Mark her down as staying, and that is it. What's our total number? Don't give it to us yet. Let's figure this out in our heads. I think that more than 50% of the roster is gone if given the free opportunity. And granted, we're projecting what we think they would have voted.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of goes more than we did stays. Now, obviously, fictitious. We don't expect that all of them would go for various reasons, but I'd say it's more towards the go column.
Jay, how many total votes do we have that we counted between the go and the coming, or staying and going? How many total are there?
85.
Damn, that's why it took so long. So I'm going to say at least. All right, don't tell me which category, but of the 2 categories, one of them has a larger number than the other. What is that number?
47.
So more than half, barely. I'm going to say my guess is more than half are leaving. And D-Train, what do you think?
Yeah, it seems like we had a lot more goes. I agree.
All right, Jay, hit us with these numbers.
We actually had 47 staying.
Really?
And 38 going.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. That's still a pretty large percentage of talent.
But that's still almost half the roster walking out.
Yep. And again, we're kind of, projecting and guessing on behalf of other people, but based on the vibe that's been going on, things have been reported, people's social media. I think that's kind of what's happening in their locker room right now. I feel like that's relatively close to the mark. Even if we take 7 of those away, that's still 30 out of 80. That's a big chunk of your roster. And by the way, there were at least 8 names I just completely skipped over because they weren't in the equation. So they would have obviously more people staying than going, which I think is reasonable to anticipate that in a free society. But I think the ones leaving would be the ones that had the majority of things to contribute to your product as well. So if you're only losing 20% of your roster, but it's 20% of your best people, then it's more like 80% of your roster, really. All right. Well, this has been fun and our first time ever doing dual streaming. So I might go check out the Twitch replay of this later on just to see how that looked.
And I can't say I did a quick update just looking to see on one of the wrestling things to see if there was any news. I have not seen anything. But it could be something on Twitter, but I haven't seen any injury reports or anything further as of yet. But I'm sure we're going to find out more in the next day or two for sure.
Oh, yeah. More to come. That you can be sure of. All right. Well, this has been great. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Of course, Jay and D-Train, thank you guys for being here. It's always a party.
Yeah, no problem.
And busy weekend, a lot to cover. So it made it something I wanted to do. I was thinking about maybe, doing some pro wrestling game and other stuff I haven't done in a few weeks now. But, man, we had 3 days of a lot happening. And then that post-match scrum is like, okay, that's it. We're going to do some talking today. So thank you again for everybody being here, checking us out. For those of you on Twitter, we're going to be back on a more regular basis now. So make sure you follow in there as well. And we'll see you again right here next time we are wrapping up a weekend's events here on the Nation Network. So long, everyone.